Hours of power. Hours of power.
Debates. Open your mind.
Hours of power. Hours of power.
And so a community is where you control your beliefs, you control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Well, what about the Negroes that get out? My cousin, he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 billion. Three PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hit his sirens and looked to the rear and hit his cop car, flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows the price of a Negro. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place. That Negro thing you can't get away from. It's universal. They wasn't coming after you. With all your bills, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help. That's good. Why do you think you never pick up the paper and read over and over? See white families, you take the thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families trying to as black cops? I found out one funny. I hit the back of the head. Why do you think black cops think they more spiritual? Think they better stress? No. They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate. Now, if we were organized, which is hard to organize people who are just going to run crazy, you don't know you're crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro, and we said, look, if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that any time a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you used to drive a car. And if you use it wrong, then you'll lose your license. And if you're upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store boy or a private detective. Now, how do you get Congress to protect you? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young, and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, we call it for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving with the kingdom. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas. Huh? Well, what happened now? Flagstaff Avenue, Georgia, Sears and Roebuck, Westinghouse. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, Mr. Senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power with the system that wiped us out so bad. The officer's code for one suspect has been shot.
Open your mind. And peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T. YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses is here. Tonight, got another good debate for y'all. We running a little late because I was out with wifey, goddamn it, didn't get back here till like a few minutes ago. So we starting like 10 minutes late, but don't worry about it. I know y'all all grown and you probably don't gotta go to work tomorrow. Oh, good look on that super chat, Brother Moses. Damn, dropping coins and we ain't even started yet. Brother Moses, official. Good looking, brother. Yeah, we starting a little late, y'all. We starting like 10, 15 minutes late because, you know, I was out with wifey. I told her I had to get back here to do a show, but, you know, she bullshitted in the store anyway. So, but we here and we going to throw down. I got to finish sending everybody the link. I got to send my timekeeper the link. I got to send the general the link, Brother Ramil the link. Let me see. You know? Yeah. So I hope y'all all right, man. I hope y'all staying safe, man, with this coronavirus thing going on, man. It's insane. You know, it's insane. It is insane, folks. But we're gonna get through it, man. We're gonna get through it, y'all. We're gonna get through it together. You know, we're gonna get through it together. All right, Brother Ramil is here. I guess I'm waiting for the general and my timekeeper. But as always, before we get started, I gotta start the show by thanking y'all, man. Thanking all the good folks, man, that support this platform. You know, with your subscriptions, man, your views, your likes, your shares, and of course, y'all drop coins on this platform as well. You don't have to do it, man. You don't. You know, you ain't got to watch these damn videos. You don't got to show up to these damn live streams. You don't have to do any of that, man. But you choose to do so. You choose to drop your coins on this platform. So ultimately, y'all support this platform. And of course, ultimately, y'all support me. So I have to get up here and thank y'all. I got a super chat like 30 minutes ago before I even got on. Not a super chat. My bad. I got a Cash App. Some brothers be dropping Cash Apps on me before the show even begin. My brother, good look on that. You know who you are. I appreciate it, brother. I do. And I appreciate all of y'all, man. You know, I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm appreciative, man. And, you know, I'm going to try to keep pumping them out for y'all, man, because obviously y'all think there's some value in this platform, because if you didn't think there was some type of value, you wouldn't coins on this platform, and it is appreciative. It's appreciated, man. You know, so I thank all of you. All right. So let's get started. But first, before we get started with this here debate, Brother Ramil Amyr versus the General. Y'all know how we do. I'm gonna run down the rules like I do every week. Fans of Brother Ramil will not be disrespected. The General. Oh, good look on that super chat, Brother Cool Jet. Appreciate that, brother. Fans of the General will not be disrespecting Brother Ramil. All right? You won't be disrespecting my damn timekeeper either. Yeah, that's included too. You won't be disrespecting them too, because when they in this little square, it's like they in my house. So you will not be disrespecting them. And that goes to everybody. Like I always say, y'all know I got this here.
I like
for
to
you.
refer to as the old T.P.O.T. Respectable. Making sure my chat room stays respectable. Oh yeah, he's watching you Negroes. He's going up and down, and he'll be checking that chat room all night. So be careful what you write, because the old T.P.O.T. Respectable will be watching.
Yeah. All right. And like always in the chat room, y'all know what's coming. You say something crazy, you might get one word out before Yeah, brutality. And it goes for you chicks too. Might get one word out.
Fatality.
Yeah, that's how we do it here. That's how we do it here. All right? All right. So let me bring in my folks. Brother Ramil Amyr. And y'all know we always got a celebrity timekeeper. None other than my brother, Brother K.I.T. Keep it techie. What's good, brothers? What's good with it?
Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? Appreciate the invite once again, P.O.T, brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
What's
man.
good, brother Ramil? What's good, brother?
What's going on?
What's
How you
good,
doing?
fellas?
What's up?
How y'all
All
doing?
right.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
So, this is how we going to do it. Let me go ahead and explain the rules for those who may not know it. I know everybody else may know it, but we may have some new folks up in here. The rules go like this. We do 7-minute opening statements. Each debater has 7 minutes to lay down their opening premise. Then after that, we do something called rebuttal rounds. 5 minutes per debater. We do that for about an hour. We take a little break. Then we come back and we do something called rapid fire. The clock is off. The debaters get to engage directly. We do that for a little while. Then we have 7-minute closing statements or closing arguments, if you will. And then if the brothers have time, we will take some questions from the chat room. All right. All right. So who's the for and who's the against for tonight's debate? Do we have power? Who's for? Who's against?
I'll go 4.
Okay. Brother Ramil, I guess you against.
Yeah. I don't think we have power whatsoever.
Okay. Well, against always goes first. So, Brother Ramil, you are up first. Timekeeper, can I get 7 minutes on the clock, please? Brother Ramil, you up.
Well, I appreciate you for having me on another debate. And I'm so glad to be here because, goddamn, I keep having to show out on these debates, man. But real talk, so I guess the debate is, do we have power? And that, to me, is almost like a trick question. Do black people have power in America? I mean, if we just really look at it from the outside looking in, we have no power. And we haven't had any power since we sold each other into slavery on the west coast of Africa. Ever since that white man came with them guns and assaults, all the little power we did have, we gave it up easily. Okay. The definition of power is meaning that you can influence others and bend reality to your will. Black people do not have that capability because we are not doing what you're supposed to do to gain power. And we haven't been doing it since we came into America. See, black people, specifically black men, we don't own anything. We don't control anything. We have no political leverage. There's not one political party that has the interest of black men on hand in this country. Even black women got something going on, but nothing for black men. We have no economic leverage. All right, we have all of our money. We spend it, we waste it. We don't reinvest it to get some economic leverage, so that we can maybe gain some sort of piece of the pie, quote unquote, out of this country. We don't have any institutions, all right, any solid institutions like the Jews. They got the Anti-Defamation League. There's the ACLU. There's all these different types of institutions which helps people with their rights. But black people don't have one specifically for them. This is why they can kill you and get away with it, because there's no backlash, because you have no institutional backing owned by you, funded by you to help you in situations like this. You definitely have no power. This is why they're not giving your ass reparations, okay? Because you have to have leverage and power to make them pay something, pay $1 trillion something out to black people. You need power for that. That is the biggest example that we don't have power. The fact that they're not paying you reparations and they're not ever going to do it. That shows how weak we really are. All right, for people who say we're owed reparations, only a powerless group cannot force America to pay anything. America pays everybody. They didn't pay Japanese. They didn't pay the Eskimos. They didn't pay the goddamn Jews in a lot of cases. They didn't pay everybody else except for you. That goes to show how much power you don't have. Those other groups have some sort of power and leverage, which they use all the time. Okay. The only power that black people really do have in this day and age is the power to apply for other people's jobs created by other people, to apply for things that were already created. That is not power. What that means is that you are at the mercy of other groups of humans. You are at the mercy that they will allow you into those spaces to earn money, to get positions of having decent paying jobs. Okay, you're at the mercy of other people because black people do not build, we do not create. In order to have power in this day and age, you have to be a massive producer. Okay, we are consumers. This is why our wealth is going down. If we had any sort of power, expert economists would not be predicting that we're going to be at a zero net worth of wealth in 33 years. That's not power. That's the opposite of power. Okay, the little that you do have, you're already giving it up. All right, so no, if the question is, do we have power? Hell no. Matter of fact, we have the opposite of power. All right, we are the force for other people's power. We fund other people's power. All right, the Asians come in, we pay for their kids to go to school, $500 billion towards weed. We pay for Nikes. We pay for consumer goods, bigger cars. When we get more money, when we get raises, we don't invest for the long term and think generational. We go for short-term spending. That is the biggest sign that you don't have power. And part of it, most of it is by choice, because we could gain some sort of power. We could fund some politicians. We could fund some, we could take more risk with our capital in a productive way, but we don't do it. All right, so it's like we don't have power on one side because we're doing it to ourselves. And on the other side, we're not competing against other groups of people, which you're supposed to be doing. See, to get power, you have to compete. And black people, for some reason, we don't want to compete. Instead, we want everybody to be our friend and shit. That's specifically black men. We don't see this as a team sport. The Asians is a team. The whites is a team. All right, we are a team, but we don't understand this shit. So no, we don't have power because we don't think collectively on any level, especially as black men. All right, we always helping everybody else out. So if the government said, fuck these black people, we want to get rid of them right now, there's nothing you can do. All right, it's nothing you can do. All right, you have the lowest gun ownership rates. You have, I'm talking about legal wise, you have the lowest amount of real estate, the lowest amount of money. You own 1.1% when you get out of slavery. You own 0.1% now. Where's the power at? The only thing you had the power to do is to beg for mercy. Because really, if they wanted to get rid of you, you could not do anything about it. So there's no power amongst black people. And right now, we need to be focused on the pursuit of power. But instead of focusing on the pursuit of power, black men want to do frivolous shit. All right, we want to stimulate other people's economies. We want to goddamn procreate when we're in a losing situation instead of taking a little break. All right, we want to create more liabilities for ourselves while our wealth is going down. So we're doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do to get power. So not only do we not have power, I don't see us ever getting it anytime soon with this behavior path, because we don't want to think logically and pragmatic. We want to think on the emotional level, adding more liabilities to the plate when our wealth is going down. Now, it's easy for you to say you're individually successful. Everybody can say that. But at the end of the day, you are only as strong as your weakest link. And if there's anything ever to pop off, you know what I'm saying? Black people have the weakest links in society when it comes to population. So at the end of the day, we have no power. We're not trying to get any power, and that needs to change. But I don't know if it ever will. So that's all I'm gonna say for now. I'm gonna just finish the rest later on.
All right. Are you ceding your time to the general, Brother Ramil, or?
Fuck, let me get that 20 seconds. Fuck it. Go ahead, run that real quick. Yeah, man, because
okay.
Like I said, man, I don't understand. He's going to talk about maybe because we can join the military or we can do all the stuff. We have power. No, that's not a sign of power. A true sign of power is being able to control not only your destiny, but the destinies of others around you. All right, we don't have that type of power. Like Nas said, we the teenagers of this world. American blacks never seen paper in this world.
All right, that's time. 7 minutes on the clock. Timekeeper, the general, you up.
All right, bro. What's going on? So he said a lot of good things that I have no other choice but to agree with. But at the end of the day, here's the pushback, right? When you want to make the accusations that we as black men don't have power, I would have to agree with you when you say collectively. You tell me what group of men in this country do have power collectively. You're talking about the 210 and 88% rule. If you're familiar with the 210 and 88% rule, you would know that 2% of the people sit at the top of the podium and they make the decisions. 10% are the doers, the workers, the movers, the planners. They make things happen, the owners, right? Those are your Bill Gates. 88% of the massive population, to include this group of people that we're specifically talking about, which is the black people, white people, brown people, and every other person that lives in this country, fall within that 88% rule. We started out, first of all, young brother, as having less than negative 0% of power when we got here, when we were brought to this country. For those of us who want to go that route, for those of us who don't, those of us that were already here, that's where we started out on. We started out in a position to where we had nothing. We were valued as less than the common animal, the common deer, the common dog, the common mule. That's where we were in this country. So for you to sit here and make this allegation, since we've been here in this country of over 460 some plus years now, to say that we have no power, that's a falsehood. That's a false narrative. It only leads to the negative thought process that a lot of the young brothers have because they're hopeless. They don't have any type of get up and go or gumption about themselves. That's why they take the position of not having power. While we as a group of people have to look towards creating individual power because that's where we are now. We're on an individual level. So when you look at creating power, how are you talking about transitioning that over into the largest spectrum of the black society? Well, I'll tell you how. First of all, when you go back and you look at a couple of movements that happened across this country, when we did have some semblance of power, I will guide you back to look at Tulsa, Oklahoma, for example. What happened? The people of this country who had more resources at their hand, they went in and they destroyed it. You go down to South Carolina. I forget the name of the place right now. They did the same exact thing there. And across the country, they did a lot of this, even in New York, where black townships were being built all across this country, where we had our own political structure, where we had our own banks, where we had all of these things that were for blacks, built by blacks to service blacks, right? Now, I would tell you that at a certain point in time, up until about 1957 or 58, I can't remember when, black people had townships all across this country. We're doing quite well. We were economically sound. We had our own businesses, taxi cab companies, banks, hospitals, schools. We had all of that. What happened was we transitioned. We transitioned over into the civil rights movement, which made all Americans supposedly fall under one governorship, right? You will never have a separatist movement in this country. You can look back at the Marcus Garvey movie for that, brother. I'm not here to argue the point that we are liking in some of the fields. I'm here to tell you that you do have power. We have power as individual men to govern our homes, to govern our communities, if we come together. And there are many black communities that are doing so. You have groups like the 100 Black Veterans Association of America, right? You have groups like the 100 Black Men Association there in Dallas, right? We've had movements, the Black Panthers. We have movements like the Black Muslim Association. We had the Civil Rights Movement with Dr. Martin Luther King. So there are many times that you can look across the country and say, well, we did have power because guess what they had to do? They had to come down off their high horse and they had to engage black people in this country. Now, how much or how little, that depends upon how you want to look at it and your view of history. When we did the March on Washington during the Civil Rights Movement, that was a semblance and a show of power, which made them change laws in this country. They've always had to cater to the black vote here because we've always been important to whereas they know without our numbers, then we could push the ebb and flow, right? So you first must be politically sound when you go into that arena to say, well, we don't have power politically. Economically, right? Economically, should I say. When you talk about economics in this country, we fall into the same category as 88 percentile, as the 88 percentile of America. We're the 9 to 5 guys. We're no different than they are. You can point to the white community and say, well, they got this and they got that. Well, I can point to the black community and tell you the same thing. Where I am, I see black barbershops. I see black dry cleaners. I see black-owned food establishments. I see plenty of black people in the banks. I see plenty of black teachers and instructors in the schools. There's a black school here, right? So when you start talking about where we like power at, how about you turn away from that and you go towards where we can create the power, where power has been created, and support that power. How about we try that for a change instead of having a negative outlook? Also, in addition to that, I know my time is going real quick. In addition to that, speaking on a political level, right? Let's go back to when President Obama, we know that that's some people like him, some people don't. Let's look back at that for just a second. Look at the voter turnout, the voter registration. Now, we know that this country plays dirty politics. We know that they have problems with the voter registry machines, and they try to come up with all different kind of ways to keep black and brown people out of the polls. We understand that. But it's up to you to create that power. It's up to you to be on the front lines and go ahead on and push black men and encourage other black men to get involved in the political system. If you believe in that system, then if not, you continue to go down that road of gloom and doom, because I cannot follow you down that road. What we must do as black people, men and women, we must get off of the service road. You know what a service road is? You look at an expressway. They got northbound, southbound lanes, right? Or east and westbound lanes. There's a service road. There's a little 2-lane highway on the other side. It's typically an old road. That's where all the little service traffic is. You're going slow over there. That's where you can't be in the mainstream, the main flow of ownership, the main flow of getting into the banking industries, the main flow of getting into the educational industries. Speaking of education, you talk about the lack of educational institutions. Well, you might not be aware of this, but I am, because I went to one. There are a whole slew of about 110 or 125 historically black universities and colleges that were created for black people, by black people, and to give black people the equality to get into the college educational system to
Okay, that's
push
time.
yourself.
It's time, General. That's time.
All right.
We're gonna go into the rebuttal rounds now, but first, y'all know what I'm about to do. Hold on. I'm looking at these numbers down here. They're not matching. I need those numbers to match. I got 145 of you Negroes in here. How come I only got 65 likes? I mean, god damn. It takes 1 second with this damn thing here. All you gotta do is slide it over. Click, and you're done. That's it. Y'all know I like these numbers to match. God damn it. I know you gotta like something. If you don't like my black ass, you gotta like the general. If you don't like the general, you gotta like Brother Ramil. If you don't like Brother Ramil, damn, I gotta keep protecting here too. You gotta like something. Your black ass in here, hit that damn like button. And if you're feeling generous, hit that damn Cash App too. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. We're gonna get into the rebuttal rounds now. Timekeeper, can I get 5 minutes on the clock, please? Brother Ramil, you up.
Ramil, you talking? I don't hear you, man.
Yeah, because I can't hear him either.
Oh shit,
You're
my
muted.
mic was muted.
Brother
Okay,
Ramil,
my bad.
you're muted.
Okay,
You're
all right,
muted,
my bad.
brother.
I'm ready. Run that back. All right, let me know when y'all ready.
Ready, man.
All right, so yeah, it's funny how he said he doesn't know any group of men who control anything like that. What about Jewish men, white men, Asian men? I don't understand what you're saying. They have patriarchies, which those group of men are known for controlling anything. You know, with this little 5% ideology, you know, 80% of the people working, 10%, you know what everybody else talking about, 5%, they run everything. That little percentile, at the end of the day, black people are not represented in the top percentiles of those percentiles. If there is a top 2%, like you say, then black people should be represented in that top 2% as well, or proportionally in regards to the race population numbers. See, here's the thing. Blacks are disproportionately more poor than other demographics. You can't say that's everybody. It's not. Okay, the white family household is worth more than the black family household. The Latinos have surpassed blacks. You can't say that's everybody. No, we are bad with our money. It shows in the statistics. But I know you guys hate statistics, but no, blacks are disproportionately more affected by poverty, okay, crime, and than other races are. So I don't understand what you mean. Like that's everybody's throwing everybody in the 88th percentile. No, there's differences among us. We are worse with our money. This is why the Latinos have surpassed us. And speaking of Latinos, you want to bring up the fact that we as black people came here with nothing. We had nothing. There's a lot of other groups that came here with nothing and have nothing, but they worked their ass off. Just in the past 30 years, Asians and Latinos have surpassed blacks as far as GDP within this country. All right, because they work their ass off. They're not crying all day about what white people are doing. Other races come here with zero. They cross that border with nothing on they, or except with the rags on their back, live 10 to a household, save their money up, and they make something happen. We've been in America too long not to understand how the game is played. It's called capitalism. And every other group seems to catch on except for black people. All right. So I don't understand why we keep saying we came here with nothing. We came here with nothing. We've been here long enough. We should know how the game is played. Now, see, I don't say this stuff. You said that saying this type of stuff gives people a bad outlook. Well, I don't say this type of stuff to give people a bad outlook. I say this type of stuff so that people can get off their ass and we can make something happen. All right. So this message should not be taken to make you think down about yourself. No, use this and get back and fight harder. Something that black men need to learn, that warrior mindset. And you want to talk about black people had businesses with Tulsa.
Hold on, brother Ramil. Hold on. I think the clock froze. The clock is frozen. The clock is frozen, brother KIT. Brother KIT, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, the clock froze. It froze on 3:10.
Okay, it's back up.
All right, go ahead, brother Ramil.
I guess I lost a minute, but okay. Go ahead and start it again.
Go ahead and brother KIT, go ahead and start him at 3 minutes. Go ahead and give him 3 minutes. Being that we had a little clock snafu. We're gonna go ahead and put 3 minutes back on the clock, brother Ramil, so you can finish up. Go ahead.
All right, so and then you was talking about black people had businesses. I mean, we had our own economies, talking about the Tulsa, and he's talking about people came and destroy it. Well, you get back up, you build it again with stronger defense. Okay, this is what black people don't understand. People are going to try to take what you're building. That just is what it is. But when somebody comes to destroy it, don't cry about it, build it again. It's just like the ant mound. If you see an ant mound and you go kick it over, you come back in a couple of hours, it's going to be another one built up even stronger. You kick that one again, they're going to build another one. That's how you got to be. You're supposed to never be able to get down to the point where you want to give up, man. And this is why then you want to talk about, we have power because of civil rights. No, civil rights was bad. Civil rights took away our economics, okay? It took away our independence, our economic independence. This is why civil rights was not a sign of power. It made us more dependent on other people for our natural resources. And speaking of that, you want to talk about all these movements that we had. None of these movements are based on the control of natural resources. They are symbolic movements. They are symbolic victories, and we need to move past those type of victories because those type of victories do not contribute to real power. Okay, you just said it yourself. It depends on how the government, how much they had to interact with black people, whether a little or whether a lot. Doesn't matter. Those things did not get anything done. Real movements and power comes from the control of natural resources, not getting the government to shake your hand. All right, because obviously they're not giving us anything else. When you're talking about they have to cater to the black vote, no, they don't. They lie to you niggas every election. Your vote does not mean nothing. That's not power. They lie to you. Oh, we're going to give y'all this. We're going to give y'all that. Vote Democrat. They get in the office. Fuck you niggas. Same playbook. They don't got to cater to your vote. First of all, not enough of us vote anyway. And second of all, even if they lie to you, you're not going to do nothing anyway because you don't fund the politicians. All right. So, like I said, man, you keep saying, a lot of people who are doing successful. That's your personal experience. I'm in Atlanta. It's a lot of successful black people. Okay. But in proportion to other races and throughout this country, we are behind. We are not up to par when it comes to entrepreneurship rates and ownership rates and political leverage. We have none. We have none. There's nobody pushing a black agenda in policies because we're not funding nobody. And yes, I can look at the upside. I support black businesses. I buy black businesses almost every day. I'm in Atlanta, the king heaven of black businesses. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean, it needs to be more entrepreneurs out here. The HBCUs you mentioned, they're losing funding, they're losing money, and they're losing students. Why? Because we're not going to those institutions like that. All right, so I don't understand what was the point of bringing that up. Donald Trump actually had to fund HBCUs with millions of dollars a couple of years ago. So, you know, even Trump's helping us with that. We don't have any independent power, and that should be focused. That's what we should focus on, not symbolic victories, not symbolism. We got to get off that, man. Unless the movements talk about natural resources, power, land, you know, political leverage. I don't see the point of bringing
That's
up.
it. Zero.
Time. All right. Can I get 5 minutes on the clock, please, timekeeper? General, you up?
All right, we ready?
Yeah, you good. Go ahead.
All right, so here we go, man. Let's go ahead on and dispel the myth right here. You always talk about stats and numbers, right? There are approximately 37.2 million African American men, women, and children in this country, of a population of a country that has a population of roughly 420 million. That brings us in at about 17.3% of the total population of this country. So when you look at how we are looked at as per capita in this country is what you have to talk about. Okay, so I'm willing to tell you that per capita we're not doing as bad as what you want to lay it out to make it to make it to be, right? Because if you're only 17.3% of the population, that's not even 20%, brother. You're talking about 20% of the whole. All right. Yes, we are facing an uphill battle with our institutions, with banking and educational institutions. Some of them are failing, but some of them are doing quite well. I.e., Howard University, for example, still the leading university in this country producing lawyers. You also have Xavier University down there. Same thing with them. There are many different other educational institutions you could point to. You're in Atlanta. You just said it yourself. That in Atlanta there are a lot of black people doing it extremely well. So let's look at the cities where where the majority of black people live at, primarily through the northeastern parts of the United States of America. That will be down from the corridor of between New York, New Jersey, on down into Virginia, on down into North Carolina, South Carolina. Then you come on around and swing that around back towards the west. You got to go to Georgia. You got to go to Alabama. You got to go to Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, so forth and so on, right? So black people, that's where they're mainly concentrated in, right? Outside of Detroit, which is another area, and out in Los Angeles, which is another area where you have a high concentration of black folks, right? So when you look at this thing by the numbers, you're talking about 17.3% of total population, 37.2 million. Of that 37.2 million, you don't have 50% of the black population under the that are poor and destitute in this country. You just don't have it. It's just not there. So for you to say that we like power, we like institutional power. Sure, that's a fact. But again, I take you back through history. Those institutional powers and structures that we had, the institutional things that we had set up for black people and power that we had set up, they were taken away. They were destroyed. That's history. You can go back and refute that all you want to. But what I'm telling you is the fact that when you speak of power, we have all the power in the world. It's just about enacting it. That's what it's more so about. That's why we have the Black Congress, the Black Caucus that's there. We need to do a root out of those individuals that's been sitting there and doing nothing. It is time for new blood. It's time for new blood in Congress. I will not disagree with you on that point. But I will tell you that the overwhelming majority of black people in this country are not as bad off as you want to make it believe. When you talk about as a group, right? When you talk about collectively, there are some things that we need to look at doing different. There is not any one group in this country that I believe acts in a collective manner, only at certain times when you talk about things like the election. So we need to get more involved in state and local elections. I will agree with you there. You won't get any pushback from me there. But I will also tell you that to simply sit here and make a mere phallus fact of we're dominated in every field, on every playing field in this country, because if that be the case, Let's ask brothers like the brother that's hosting this panel. I don't think that that's his belief. I don't think that, I know that that's not my belief. I don't think that that's the timekeeper belief. I don't think that it's a lot of belief of a lot of black men who are actually actively involved in what's going on in society, who've actually got off the slow road, out of the slow lane, and moved into the mainstream of society. Everybody is facing the same scenario. You talked about how our college, black colleges and universities are facing defunding. Well, white colleges and universities are facing the same thing. These PWIs are up against it just like everybody else is. It's a fundamental thing that's happening within our government that's putting the 88% of the average American, both black, white, Mexican, Chinese, and other, in the same boat. We're all down here at the same in the same position. If you think Mexicans or the Latin people in this country have a better foothold than we do, I believe you'd be sadly mistaken. They're willing to do some of the things that we're not willing to do, which is why I say we need to rethink and relook at that. We need to go back and do what we used to do because they're doing what we used to do. I won't disagree with you there. However, I will tell you that the overwhelming majority of black people are not living in the projects. They're not living below the poverty line.
That's time, General. 5 minutes on the clock, please.
All right.
Brother Ramil, you up. You muted, Brother Ramil. You muted.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yep. Let me know when I can go.
Go ahead, you up.
All right. Well, once again, man, I don't understand where you're coming from where black people are doing all that great, but we're in the richest country in the world. So just because we are surviving does not mean we're doing better than we think. First of all, the poverty rate is 27.4% for black people in America. That's almost 30. That's almost a third. Okay. Well, close to a third of people living in poverty in this country. Okay. You keep pointing out these individual examples like Keep It Techie or T.P.O.T or you, like these are individual examples. Okay. You cannot use your personal experience to justify the whole situation. I think we're getting it confused with what the definition of power is, because I think you're taking it as having power is the fact that we can live. Okay. I'm not looking at power like that. I'm looking at power as the ability to control things, to manipulate reality to your will, things that powerful people do. Okay. Just because we're surviving on a day-to-day basis in the richest country in the world without controlling anything, to me, that is not power. You're just being regular. And being regular does not get your way in this country. This is why we are at the bottom of the totem pole. You said the country's 70. You said that if we're 17% of the population, you know, if you were 17% of the population and we're not involved in 17% of the 9 areas that govern human activity, if we don't own those 17%, then we're doing bad. Anything below that is bad. For example, with the STEM field, what do black people have? What, like a 6% rate enrollment? Well, for 17% of the population, we should be at 17% in STEM. This is why we don't control the infrastructure that runs society. Somebody is chewing candy on the mic. All right, but anyway, if it's 17% of the population, which I think you're off on those numbers, but I'm just using what you said, we should be 17% represented in all other areas. Anything below that is unacceptable because we are now underrepresented in fields that represent our interests. Okay, so once again, man, if he's saying that black people are not in a bad position, first of all, the 27.9% poverty rate, black male homeless rates is going up heavy. Okay, in all national cities, you see black men on these streets like that. All right, and then on top of that, we do not. You said we have all the power in the world. No, we don't. This is why they gentrify our neighborhoods. Okay, this is why they take away funding for everything black. We have no power. Once again, you're defining power by the ability to be able to live. That's not power. You're just functioning from day to day. Power is when you control something, when you own something. We're not doing that. We're not operating as people of power. Okay. And there's a lot of other people that do think in collectives. While it might not be as a big unit, they have a common ground interest, something that black people do not have. All right. So once again, man, just because we are surviving on a day-to-day basis does not mean we're doing well. This is the richest country in the world. Anybody can survive. You can work a fast food job and live a decent life if you got your money right. Okay, but that's not power. That's just surviving. And black people are always comfortable just surviving. We don't want to control nothing. We don't want to own nothing. We don't want to compete. We happy with just surviving. That's not power. That's just being a citizen. And you're at the mercy of the government. You're at the mercy of people who chase power, like your boss, people who runs these corporations. You're at the mercy of people who do chase power. But just being able to live and survive, that's not real power. And until Black people get out that mindset of just being comfortable, surviving, then we're never going to have power. You're right. I mean, I'm right. And that's why I'm at with it, man. But until we change our way of thinking, I don't understand where you're getting this we have power from. We don't have power. We don't have power. We don't control anything. All right, matter of fact, other people control things and they live off the money that we give them. So, man, if you keep defining power as just being able to live, go ahead. But that's not real power. I'll see it the rest of my time.
All right. Timekeeper, give the general 5:45 on the clock, please.
Okay. So when you're talking about real
Hold on,
power,
General. Hold on, General.
and I need
General.
this to be.
Hold on,
I think
General.
I know a little bit about what power is, right? So what other groups? This is just a question. I'm sure we'll get to this later. It's not for you to answer at this particular point in time. I just want to lay this out here. What other groups of people in this country outside of the dominant society have power? You talk about the Jews. The Jews don't have any power because their power is invested in the same shit as the white man's power is invested in, meaning money. They control some of the same resources that we control. So what are you talking about? Outside of the banking industry, which is that's dominated by them primarily, and they don't own it. They simply are the proprietors of it. Okay. When you talk about lawyers, we have black lawyers as well, right? So what I don't understand when you say power to do what? Erect change? I think we have the power. We erect change every day in this country. One of the things you must look back to again, young brother, is the course of history. You don't come from being less than zero in this country, and we're not all the way there where we should be. Granted, I will give you that. I have to concede that fact to you. We're not where we should be, but we're far from where we came. This is what you don't understand because you have not been around long enough. You have not seen some of the things that some of us who have been on the face of this planet long enough. And I don't want to go there to discredit you because of your age. I'm just telling you that if you haven't seen it done, if you don't know about some of the things that we face coming through the times that we came through, you wouldn't have any understanding of what real and true power is. If you haven't lived through the time when white folks would tell you can't go on that side of the town, that's what they meant, and you couldn't go, that's what it is. Until people came along like the civil rights movement that enacted some of these laws that made it possible for you to move to where you want to move to and get to where you want to get to. That wasn't done because they miraculously felt some sort of sorry for it. But at the end of the day, there were black men and black who put their lives on the line to make that possible. That's power. That's the power to enact change in something. You see it every day. That's power, not just something, but into society. That's the power that we have. Now, I give you the fact that we're not pointing the power, we're not gathering and harnessing the power the way we should to affect the changes that need to be affected. It is that we're looking at a lot of bullshit. Nigger trinkets is what I call it. So I'll give you that fact. See, I'm not here to say that you're totally wrong with your ideology or your thought process. That's not my mood for having this debate. Having this debate is to give you some indicator of where we came from, where we were, and where we are now. That's where I am with this whole thing. When there was a time when blacks had to travel across this country using the Green Book, we no longer have to do that. The Green Book gave you a list of townships that were black friendly. It gave you a list of places where you can live and eat while you doing your travels across the country. We don't have to go off that anymore. I'll get it. I get it. It's not where we necessarily need to be, or we shouldn't have to have things like that. But when you go back and look at history and you say, well, damn, there was a point in time when we couldn't go where we wanted to go, eat where we wanted to eat, do what we wanted to do. Now you can do all of that shit and more. We are falling behind for a myriad of factors. The educational factor, the thought process that a lot of motherfuckers have because they don't want to buy into the system. They want to act like they're going to create this whole separate, totally different system from what exists in this country today. Just not going to happen. They've shown that to be not be possible time after time after time after time again. I mentioned Tulsa, Oklahoma. They destroyed it. You know why? Because blacks had power there. They had their own form of government. They had their own educational institutions, hospitals, things of that nature. They didn't want that to catch on and move across the country in rapid fire because you would have other places like that that would spring up. You look at when you talk about other places, right? You don't know about Chocolate City. That's what they used to call Washington, D.C. at one point in time. Washington, D.C. was the Atlanta of the East Coast, right? That's where everybody wanted to go. If you were black at a certain specific time in this country, that's where you wanted to be. You wanted to be in Chocolate City. You wanted to be in Motown. You wanted to be in Motor City, where blacks had control at, where blacks were doing quite well at. These are the things that you probably don't have any idea about because you were not around at that point in time. So you don't know how these institutions were destroyed by the powers that be, meaning the dominant society. You got to understand that everything goes by numbers. There are more of them than it is of us. We live under a democratic society, so that means the majority rules. You can, if we were 63%, then I would give you, or I believe it's like 68% white in this country, if my numbers are not mistaken. I have to go back and verify. If we were 68% of the total population of this country, I would then tell you, if we were in the same position, you're right, Ramil. But that's just not how it is, brother. We are still, the numbers that I gave you, they're close in proximity. I have to go back and reevaluate. We're getting ready to do a new census, and those numbers will tell you the exact numbers of the percentage of this country of where we are. Then if you look at it and you break that number down, you will be able to see that, okay, it says that we got roughly 30 million black Americans here. Okay, of that, 15 million are at this level, 10 million are at this level, 5 million are here. That's when you'll know, when you can see where the power is. If we get together and stop having this individual mindset that we have and start pushing towards a greater collective goal, things will get better for us in this country. We can build power. And I'll get to the other
Time.
It's time. Timekeeper, 5 minutes on the clock, please.
Where we at? What section is this, brother?
We're still doing rebuttal rounds, the general.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Brother Ramil, you up?
Man, you know, you keep talking about I wasn't there for this, I wasn't there for that. Okay, so what? You couldn't drink from the same water fountain, and now you can. Okay, that's not power. All right, the fact that I can go out to a restaurant without being called nigger in 2020, that's not power. Okay, just because quote unquote some progress was made, that's not the equivalent of power. The debate is, do we have power? No, we don't. We are not politically, we don't have any political leverage. We don't have any economic power. We don't have institutions. You keep talking about what civil rights done. The fact that we can sit together with white people, that's not power. The fact that we don't have to worry about, we getting the dog sick to, okay, cool, but that's not power though. We can still be ran over. This is why they're taking over our neighborhoods. They are gentrifying. They can easily go up and buy these properties because we have no power. All right, you keep talking about things, you keep talking about, little trivial things. All right. Those things don't equate to power. They're just day-to-day survival. And we, once again, like I said last time, you're equating with the fact that you're able to survive and live in the richest country in the world, so it's not hard to do. You're equating that with power. That's not power. Black people do not have any political control. We don't have any economic control. We don't own land like that. As compared to other races, that's power. We don't have politicians actually running for the black agenda, trying to get things done for black people. That's power. All right, not being able to work in the same place as a white person. Okay, that's not power. That's just the ability to be a regular citizen. And regular citizens don't have power. All right, so I didn't have to be there. You keep saying I wasn't there. I can read the charts, just like historians do. They weren't there when history was taking place, but they can read the history books and look at the analysis and look at everything else, and they can set a picture of what was happening and make it very accurate. That's why we have a subject called history. All right, I don't have to be there. I can read. And I said back then we were doing better before civil rights and all that other shit, family structure, economics. and then we let it go. So what we got to do is go back and see what the fuck happened in that little time period of where we started to decline economically and fix this puzzle. All right, I don't look at that civil rights progress as anything good for blacks. I don't look at us. We should have stayed off into the own like the other races do. Chinese got Chinatown, Polish town, the Arabs got their own community. We should have did that shit. All right, so but it's too late now. So once again, you talk about numbers. We don't have the numbers. Well, white people are 11% of the world population. 11%. Caucasians are 11% of the world population, and they run everything. So obviously, numbers are not important. It's not the quantity of your population. It's the quality and how intelligent they are. White people are the minority in this world, but they've managed to take all of it over. Imagine that. So numbers is not that important, especially when you are on your shit. Asians, one of the smallest population in the country, but they have rose their way up to be the highest earners. Okay, so we don't want to overemphasize population numbers because it's not that important. You keep saying we have black lawyers and the black other things. Well, what about black law firms and black judges? So you're thinking on the lower level, the servants, the employees. I'm thinking about people who run shit. Okay, a black lawyer, that's easy. You can go to school and become a lawyer, but that's not power. So you're thinking about the ability to just live. No, power is black law firms, black judges, appellate judges, Supreme Court judges. All right, that's power. Anybody can go to school and do some shit. That's cool. You can live a life and do what you want to do and get your certifications. But power is when you start thinking about ownership and control, which is what we do not think about. We always want to talk about the lowest level of employment and shit like that. Jews do have power. They control the media, they control Hollywood, and they control banking. Them and blacks are not on the same level when it comes to power. You said blacks control some of that too? Blacks compared to Jews and what they control in banking in Hollywood, not even close. Not even close. No, we're not even, no. All right, so I don't understand where that comparison came from. But at the end of the day, man, black people do not have power. You keep talking about the fact that we can just go outside and ride the bus with white people. That's not power. So I don't understand why you keep talking about the progress we made. That had nothing to do with controlling and owning things. All right, because if you control and own it, you don't have to worry about white people and where they let you go, because you own the building. That's it.
All right, that's time. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go, because we started with Brother Ramil. We're gonna go to the general one more time, then we're gonna go back to Ramil, and then the general again, and then we're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna come back to rapid fire. Timekeeper, 5 minutes on the clock, please. The general, you are up, sir.
Okay, man, I keep telling you that you have to build a baseline before you build anything else. Now, I want you to tell me, outside of the things, and I know that we're pale in comparison as far as bank ownership or being having the majority share. But I believe that we are well represented, and I would have to go back and do some fact checking on this. I'm going off the top of the dome, right? But you're there in Atlanta. How many banks are in Atlanta where you can walk in and everybody's black? Because I remember doing that. How many times you can walk into a hospital there in Atlanta and you see a lot of black doctors, a lot of majority black doctors, majority black nurses, and things of that nature? Right there in that city where you're at in Atlanta. When you want to bring up Chinatown, you act as though Chinatown is just a community like any other community. There's a black township right there in Maryland. I can't remember the name of it. And all of those people earn over $300,000 a year, both the man and the woman. Their annual income is about $650,000. Right there in the township in Maryland. So what do you want to keep throwing up these towns? Well, we don't own anything because we don't have any power. We're represented in this country per capita by number. This is what you don't understand. You talk about so you don't know of any black judges on the Supreme Court. We don't have any. That's what you're telling me. That's essentially what you're saying when you say we don't have any power. I told you, I agree with you that we're not where we should be, but I believe as per capita, the number of representatives that we have in Congress, the number of representatives that we have in the Senate, the number of representatives that we have in the Black Caucus obviously is there for a specific reason. They're not exerting or doing what they should do, and it needs to be pressure. We should apply pressure to them to do more. I get it. The more you have, the more you want. And I named off about 4 or 5 different townships. As you want to throw one out there, Chinatown. Chinatown is those people that live, the Chinese that live in that community are no different than us. You know why? Because they're under the same perils, under the same pressure, under the same shit that we're under. It ain't like they're spending Chinese money out there. You show me what Mexicans own their own goddamn shipping industry where they're shipping shit in and out of this country. I want you to show me that. I want you to show me what Jewish company owns their own industry where they're involved in major trade in this country independently from the U.S. government and they're shipping shit in and out of this country. You can't do it. You can show me a name of a company that exists. Somebody is a figurehead that exists because that's where we are here. If you're unaware of what's really going on in this country, today kind of proves it. Like I tried to help you out when I said per capita. That means that how we're represented per capita. The number of people versus positions. That's where we are, and that's where this country has gone to. You want to talk about white people, is 11% of white people and they run the world. Well, that may be true, but at the end of the day, we're not talking about the world. We're talking about here in the United States of America. So I don't give a shit what they're doing anywhere else. I'm only talking about what's happening with my people right here, right now. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care about what the 11% are doing around the world. I'm talking about what we're doing in this country. I gave you a bypass. I gave you a pass, and I said I agree with you that we're not where we should be. We aren't. We are not, and we do need to make some changes. But to say that we're powerless in this country, nah. Tell them motherfuckers that in 1965 to watch riots. You tell them that when they had Bloody Valentine's Day in Chicago, when they got tired of the oppression that was being placed on our people in this country. What happened? Look at Detroit. You can go all up and down the spectrum from the turn of the century and look at the riots that took place to affect change in this country. It may not be the type of economic power that you wanted to see, but that was power. That's what you fail to realize. You want to sit here and act like every black person, 60%, 70% of the STEM field should be filled with blacks? Nah, not going to happen. It would be nice, but it's not going to happen. 50% of the black banks should be owned by blacks. You act like no white areas are being subjugated to under the same process that black places are being subjugated under. You act like that gentrification is not happening in white areas. Well, it is. It's happening right there in Baltimore, a black township, primarily a black township. It's happening, but guess where it's happening there? It's not happening in the black sectors. It's happening in the white sectors as well. It's happening in Los Angeles in the white sectors as well. It's happening right there in Dallas in the white sectors as well. It's happening right there in St. Louis. It's happening all around the country, both black and white people. This is why I gave you the 2, 10, and 88% rule, young man. This is why I gave you those numbers.
Time.
All right. 5 minutes on the clock, please, timekeeper. Brother Ramil, you up?
Once again, man, you know, you keep talking about how we're doing just as good as everybody else. You said, what do Mexicans have? What do other races have? They have companies that they own and that support infrastructure.
Right, we do too. Well,
hold up, man.
I just want to make sure because
hold up.
Damn, I mean, shit. I was getting there.
Hold up. Stop the clock. Stop the clock.
Go ahead, brother.
Hold up, General.
I was getting there.
Push a one-sided narrative.
We do that. Hold on.
Right here in Central Texas,
General.
I see just as many.
General, can you hear me?
Farms that are building right here in Texas.
General.
Hey, General.
I don't think the general can hear me. I don't think he can hear me. We don't interrupt during.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We don't interrupt during rebuttal time. We do that during rapid fire. Everybody get to say their piece. These rebuttal rounds, your 5 minutes is your 5 minutes. His 5 minutes is his 5 minutes. That's next round where we do rapid fire, where you directly engage. All right. How much time did Brother Ramil lose?
I stopped as soon as he jumped in. So I mean, it might have been like the second off, but
I started right there. That's cool. And if you could do me a favor, you can share my screen for me.
Okay, Brother Ramil.
All right, do me a favor and share my screen for me. Go ahead and if you can do that. All right, see this thing about how black people have other just as much as everybody else when it comes to businesses, which I was about to get on the topic before I was interrupted. Obviously, that is not true. Okay, we have here, based on the Census Bureau, Black-owned businesses can create 1 million jobs, which is enough to employ 4% of the working age population, with annual revenues of $186 billion every year. This means they can give every Black American a check for $7,000 per year. So obviously we're not the same when it comes to business, because Hispanic-owned businesses can create 2.5 million jobs, and they can employ 8% of the working age Hispanic population, which is double ours. Okay, they make $473 billion a year, and they can pay everybody $14,000. Then, of course, we have Asian-owned businesses and white-owned businesses. Obviously, we are well below every other demographic when it comes to business ownership and the power to employ others and the amount of money we bring in. So this thing that you keep saying as far as we're the same as the other races in this 88%, especially when it comes to businesses, you was talking about name businesses in which Mexicans and Jewish they all have businesses, supplies, shipping, tech. I mean, these are things that Black people just do not have equal or even a fair representation of ownership in, because you need creativity and innovation. And Black people don't want to create. We don't want to innovate. All we want to do is fucking work and live off other people's creation, aside from the rare few of us who get out here and create some shit. So obviously on this business statistics, we are well below every other demographic. So no, we are not the same when it comes to business ownership. We are not the same within that quote unquote 88% you're talking about. We are last place. Hispanics have passed us up, and they can employ double the percentage of the working population as we can. Just wanted to show that stat. As far as you keep talking about we have power this. I wasn't saying 11% of the population that whites are that run the world. I wasn't saying that to use that as an example. I was just saying that as far as use to the point that numbers are not important. Of course, we're in America, but I'm just saying if 11% can run the world population, then definitely 17% can do better in America. We're in a fucked up position for our proportional rate as far in the population. If you're so powerful, if you have power, why have they not paid you reparations check? All right. If you're so powerful, where's that? If you're so powerful, why are you second-class citizens in your own country? All right. If you're so powerful, why are Black people not given any political due process? Barely any judicial due process. You never get benefit of the doubt. You're the last hired, first fired. Okay, I don't understand where this is coming from. You have no power. You're just surviving at the mercy of other people. You don't own industries. You're not in the political position, a powerful position. What power are you talking about? You keep saying we have power, and you want to point to these individual anomalies.
God damn, why would you call me?
Okay, cool, man. It's a lot of individual Black people doing good, but as a whole, we're not in a good position, man. As a whole, we don't have power. All right, they use you for everybody else's power. You're the stepping stone for everybody else's power. But as far as Black people, you have no power. Nobody give a fuck about you. You have no money. You barely have any wealth. And if this country wanted to say "fuck you, niggas" at any given time, they can just get rid of us. You know what I mean? The only thing really keeping us here is the fact that we're heavy consumers. But once the jobs go away and they're displaced in the tech industry, and Black people are not qualified and are obsolete, I don't know what they're gonna do with niggas. Because once again, we don't control anything. How much time I got? I'm gonna concede the rest of my time.
All right, General, you got 518. You conceding it to the General, Brother Ramil?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, General, you got 518. You up?
All right, man. Listen. You see, yet again, I don't think that you have a good grasp on how society actually works, man. I keep telling you it's per capita. And as you know, Mexicans have surpassed us if I'm not mistaken, I have to look at it again. When the new census come out, I'm gonna look at this again because this was talked about 5 years ago. I believe Dr. Anderson was speaking about this, how we were being surpassed in numbers, population-wise, in this country, right? So that's why when you're seeing those numbers, yes, they have moved ahead of us because they've taken on to doing what we used to do. Again, I'll tell you that I'm not here to stand in difference with you on your numbers that you pulled up because you were speaking actual facts. The deal is we do, however, we can do better. But to say that we're powerless, your own chart just prove to the opposite. Your own chart. We have some power. It may not be to your liking or my liking or anyone else's liking, but we do have power. This is what I was trying to tell you, man. We have power. We just aren't the most powerful. That's what that is. You want this Wakanda to magically appear where everything is black and everything is wonderful, and we're living in this blissful world, and I gave you the 2, 10, and 88 percentile. You're conflicting having absolute power with not having any power at all, and you're wrong. You're simply just wrong. Are you saying that we don't have power, or we don't have the type of power you would like to see us have? Because we can affect, if we get together and we go ahead on and we push ourselves out in mass number, we can affect change more than what we are. We just choose not to do that. We just choose not to put ourselves in a position. What do you think would happen if every major league, if every black actor, entertainer, athlete were to come together and say, that's it, we're done. We're just gonna stop. The same thing that happened right now because of the coronavirus is what would happen in Major League, well, maybe not Major League Baseball, but basketball and football damn sure would cease. It would stop on a dime. Because ain't nobody finna go pay no bunch of second string motherfuckers. They want to see the premier athletes do this shit. Ain't no motherfucker finna go to the movies to see somebody that they don't know. Yes, whites do own and control Hollywood. The reason why is because they invented that shit. We didn't have nothing to do with that. You want us to come in and take control of somebody else's shit. I say that we need to go ahead on and use what we have to create things for ourselves, which is, I believe, what you're saying as well. We can do more to gain more power in this country. That's all I'm going to tell you about the power, the like of, or how much we do or don't have. The fact of the matter is, with that very statement that I just made to you, shows the fact that we have power. Your very chart shows the fact that we have power. We could hire how many? You brought it up, so I'll let you answer that. How many people could we hire if black businesses were to go ahead on and do that? But again, you're talking about something that's based on the economy. Why is it that Mexicans haven't maxed out theirs? Why is it that the Asians haven't maxed out their potential to use their power that they have? Because by your own self-admission, with the power that they have, they should have 100% of their people employed. Mexicans should have 100% of their people employed. It should not be one Mexican living underneath the poverty line here in this country based upon what you said. So that just goes to show you how far off or how close we are to actually power. I understand what power is, and I'm not conflating it at all. I'm simply telling you that I believe that that's what you're doing. You're conflating having absolute control and power with not having any power at all, and it's simply not true. Blacks have the power. We just are not the most powerful in this country, and that's based on numbers. Yet again, I'll run that back to you, based on numbers. Can we change? Yes, we can. Do we need to do more? Yes, we do. But to sit here and say that we don't have any power whatsoever, man, that's asinine for you to even believe that. To get to where we need to be, do we need to do better? Yes, we do need more blacks in STEM. We do need more blacks in the medical field. We do need more blacks. We need more blacks in every possible position conceivable. We need more teachers. We need more lawyers, more doctors, more hospitals, more banks. Yes, we do. But to sit here and say that we don't have any power whatsoever, you're wrong. And I'll give him those last 40 seconds.
All right, that's gonna end the rebuttal rounds. We usually take a little break and I play a little music, but we're gonna do something a little different today. Because I want to talk to the folks, man. I mean, this COVID-19 shit, man, you know, is serious business, man. And I don't want any of y'all out there to get caught up with this shit. You know, I mean, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm a mechanical engineer. I don't know shit about medicine. All I know is what I've been seeing and how fast it's been spreading. So I'm hoping that all of y'all are being careful. I'm hoping you're washing your hands frequently, keeping your hands out your face. Hopefully sick folks come around. Y'all ain't letting them breathe on you, cough on you, sneeze on you, sweat on you, anything, you know, because we need to stay safe until they can kind of get a handle on this shit, folks. Because I would hate to hear that somebody that I'm affiliated with on this here YouTube coming down with this shit. Now, from what I understand, the symptoms for everybody is different. Some people get really, really sick. Some people die. Some people have it just like the flu and they get over it. But I don't want y'all to take that chance. Don't get crazy. Make sure your movements are deliberate. What you touch need to be deliberate. The people you around need to be deliberate. And this is one of those times that I ain't even mad at you if all you do is spend all your time in grandma's basement playing Call of Duty, because you're less likely to be freaking catching the COVID-19 if you're down in grandma's cellar. So I ain't even mad at you if that is what you're doing with your time. Yeah, because you're probably not going to catch it in grandma's house or your old mama house while you're down there playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, or whatever the hell it is you play. Folks, to be safe. I do. I'm telling y'all the same stuff I tell my wife, I tell my kids, my grandkids, and everybody I know, man. I want the folks to be safe. I don't want this shit to affect us, because y'all know if it get amongst us, it'll spread quick, because y'all know how we are. We have a tendency to be in groups. We have a tendency to be around each other in close quarters. You know, we smoke blunts with each other and also kind of nonsense that should have run through our society like nobody's business. So we need to be the smart ones here. All right. We have to exercise some power when it comes to this kind of stuff, man, because, you know, this should have run ramshot through us, man. And we got our older folks to think about. We got our kids to think about. We got ourselves to think about. Okay. We do. I want you folks to be safe, man. All right. You need to stock up on shit. Make sure you have plenty of water so you ain't got to be running out buying that. Make sure you got non-perishables so you ain't got to run out and buy that. If you don't have a generator, you might want to invest in one. All right. Make sure your cars stay full of gas. Make sure you got some extra dough somewhere, because you never know what's going on. Make sure you have a stash. Make sure you have a stash of food, a stash of gas, and you might even need somewhere extra to go. Okay. For those who got it like that, you might need to go, you know, somewhere else. Because I know I got me a spot if it get crazy where I'm taking my folks to. So I'm not telling y'all nothing that I don't tell my people. I'm not telling y'all nothing that I don't exercise my goddamn self. I want y'all to be all right. I do. I want y'all to be all right. I want you to be careful out there. And like I said, man, you need to be deliberate with how you operate. You need to be deliberate with what you touch. You need to be deliberate with who you are around. Hey, all right. That's all. So anyway, we're gonna jump right in. Oh, good look on that super chat, brother Moses. Appreciate that, brother. Brother Moses, always dropping coins on this here platform. Good look, brother. Appreciate that. So right now we're gonna go right in to rapid fire. No clock. All right. No clock. The brothers actually get to engage one another, mano a mano, one on one. We left off with the general. So, Brother Ramil, pull the trigger.
Okay, now I'm not see the way I'm brought up is that when you have one, you have none. Okay, so you're talking about that chart shows that black people have some power. Well, like I said, if you got one, you got none. That if you have a low amount of anything, that's closer to none. Okay, I actually learned that from the military. Okay, so it's like that little stuff is not enough to stop the next group of people from stomping you over. All right, so to me, having a little bit of power is having no power because it's useless if somebody else more powerful than you can take it away anyway. That's how I'm looking at it. As a whole, black people have no power. We don't own nothing. We don't control nothing. So I don't know. The fact that other people are on top of us shows that we have no power. I mean, I don't understand how that's not being understood.
No, but you're asking. You want us to act as though we're 60% of the population. That's the position that you want us to be in.
I want us to act like we're
come on now.
The percentage that we are.
Come on now, brother. Come on now.
It's rapid fire. We're going back and forth.
I'm just saying I want to do things decently and in order. I know that's what you're used to. See, I just waited patiently. I'm not going to waste time. But listen, man, let me explain something to you. You want us, you act as though 100% of black people should be employed. Because by your own self-admission, just a minute ago, you said, well, if you got one, you have none. We got a low representation. That's the same thing as having none to me, because we're not where we should be. I agree with you that we're not where we should be. However, a pause to simply say that we don't have power is a misnomer, period. One is greater than zero. Would you not agree with that?
Not all the time.
Okay, no. I have $1, you have none. I have $1 more than you have. Now, Prophet of Thought got $3. He has $2 more than what I have. The timekeeper has 10. He got what? $9 more than what I have, $10 more than what you have. He's got goddamn $7 more than Prophet of Thought has. That means that his purchasing power is more. So I'll get it I get what you're saying.
But in the grand scheme of things, they're all. I mean,
you keep going back to the grand scheme of things. The grand scheme of things is that we're in the 88th percentile. That's the grand scheme of things.
88th percentile of what?
The 88th percentile of the general population in this country. That's where the majority.
What do you mean 88th percentile?
That's where now you can break down the subcategories within the 88th percentile and talk about the 88th percentile and talk about those that are below the poverty level, those that are right at the poverty level.
Don't you think that's important?
It's extremely important. But I'm here to tell you that there are a lot more black. The average medium income to be considered at the poverty line is how much? What's the net yearly earning for you?
It depends on the family.
I understand that, but I'm asking you for a single individual. But matter of fact, I'll give you a family of 3. What's the minimum family income to be considered living in poverty in this country?
Off the top of my head, I'm gonna guess like 30,000 or something.
No, you're wrong.
I mean, what's the exact number then?
For a family of 3, it's about $26,500 a year. For a family of 3.
Okay, but you're wrong too, man. It's actually 20,000.
If you're below that for a family of 3, if you're below that, then you're in poverty, right? If you're 20,000, if you're from 20 to 26,000, you're right at the poverty line. That means that you're $500 to $1,000 away from being in poverty. That's what that means. So for you to merely sit here and say, well, that's a fallacy right there. Well,
it's not, because if other people can stomp on what you have, that's not power.
You can't stomp on me. I just can't buy as much as what Prophet of Thought and the time.
I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about as far as.
But that's races. Power in this country. Money.
No, that's power. That's one form of power. Yes, purchasing power. And we're last place in that too.
That is the basis of power in this country. The more money you have, the more things you can acquire, which means the more power you can inevitably get. If I have enough money to buy my own shipping country, to create expo and import and export, then guess what? I've just created power for myself and for my people.
Yeah, and black people have the lowest amount of that type of power. Right, that's so the problem.
I asked you earlier on. I asked you to show me a Mexican industry that's shipping, that have their own shipping lanes, that own their own.
Well, I showed you the chart of.
I know what you showed me the chart. I'm asking you to show me, because we're talking about power. I'm asking you to show me a Mexican company or a Jewish company or any other Chinese company. We know that these are all primarily ran by the state, right? So I'm asking you to show me these companies. They may have a
hold on. So all the fruits and vegetables that come from Mexico, that comes from Mexican companies, right?
That's government.
So the government ships produce. So the government ships produce in the country.
That's government. That's government, and it trickles down from there.
Hold on. So you're telling me the government ships
if you're
produce?
Listening, you might learn something. That's government, and it trickles down to the individuals.
The government's not responsible for shipping produce in this country. Those are private companies.
They are private companies.
So it's not the government.
It
Those are private
down.
companies.
The government oversees that. You ever heard of the Department?
But the government oversees everything.
You ever heard of the Department of Transportation?
Yes, but the government oversees. That's not. That doesn't mean they control it. That means they're regulated.
So the government controls. That's right. They regulate it. And guess what? They pay farmers not to farm now. Not just black farmers, but white farmers too. Because government come in now is taking over big farms. The government runs all the chicken farms primarily. Tyson Chicken Company is an independent chicken company, right? Right? That's Tyson. Okay? But guess what? They have little to no control because the government now regulates that. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
It's a difference between regulate. Okay, hold on, man. Look. Just the government regulates. Who you think comes up with these regulations?
Right, I understand that. Who comes up with them?
The same corporation that's buying off the government. They come up with. That's why they get so lenient regulations.
Who are these same companies?
That's why they get lenient regulations because they lobby to the government.
Exactly, and we need to do more
power.
Lobbying. I agree that we need to do more lobbying. I agree. We need to move into that field.
More. We need to do any. We need to do any now. We don't do any.
Now you're back to the right ideology. We do have some black lobbyists that are there. We just don't have enough.
Who's lobbying for the agenda for black people?
So that's the.
Hold on. What lobbyists are lobbying for the agenda?
I don't have it right offhand, but
because there are none.
I can find it.
You know how I know there are none? Because we don't have our money into anybody's pockets to do that. Who's being funded by black people or by black organizations to get things passed for a black agenda? What black lobbyists are we funding? There is none. We're not doing it. We don't participate in the lobbying game, and that's the issue. And if there are people who do it who are in black skin, doesn't mean that they're working for the interests of black people. They could be lobbying for a corporation or something. So,
all right, lawyers of color, right? Black Lawyers Association. Salute to the black lawyers named the most influential lobbyist in Capitol Hill. He has staffers. Stafford list at a reception at the Logan Hall. These are black lawyers that lobby for black people.
So what? Okay. So
what have
they got passed? What have they gotten passed for black people then? What have they gotten passed for black people?
Again, we need to do more. We need to support more.
But that's what lobbying is. Lobbying is actually.
But you gotta read more into it than just saying that we don't have any. Now, a moment ago, you said we didn't have any.
Yeah, I said we don't have any. No.
What are they doing?
I said we don't have any black lobbyists lobbying for a black agenda. That's what I said. So I said name the agenda.
That's what they do.
What have they gotten passed for blacks?
The annual event is dubbed the Caucus Prelude Reception. Held on Tuesday, every September.
What did they get passed for blacks?
And even opening the Black Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Annual Legislative Conference. There are a lot of things that are listed here that you can go down and say, okay.
I'm asking you, what did they get done, man?
You don't know because you're not following it.
No, I'm asking you.
You don't know because you're not following.
But you brought them up, so I'm asking you. I'm asking you though. You should know. Man, I'm asking you, what are these black lobbyists doing to get something passed for black people? You know, that you're claiming. That's all I'm asking. Because there's a lot of black people in politics, but it doesn't mean that they're for a black agenda because we don't fund them. But I mean, if you pull them up, I'm asking you, put me on. What are these black lawyer lobbyists doing? What have they gotten passed?
I don't have it right offhand. Give me a second.
All right, man, just let me know, man. Because like I said, the only reason for that is because black people don't put the money into the lobbyists. If these lobbyists are funded by white people, like the NAACP, a so-called black organization, which is funded by Jews and white people, that's not power. All right? Because you got to listen to the people who you're getting your money from.
I understand what you're talking about. See, here are some of the things that they're involved in. The black lobbyists are involved in the National Rifle Association, the American Civil Liberties Union.
Yeah, the ACLU. Okay.
Right. Hold on. See, a minute ago you didn't even know these.
No. I'm listening because what are they? Those are not black organizations.
But you need lobbyists. See, this is where niggas that don't understand politics get. Wait a minute.
immigrants got people lobbying for them.
This is where Negroes that don't understand how politics work would sit there and make asinine statements like, "Well, you need people." This is where you need your people, your lobbyists at in these organizations. You need black representatives in each organization that run things.
We're not talking about that. We're talking
about. No, we are talking about that because that's where the power base. That's what you keep pointing to.
No. I'm pointing to once you get confused.
That's how you get things changed.
You brought up the NRA.
You have to have lobbyists in there in these organizations and corporations.
Okay, let me put you on game. If they're represented by the NRA, who's paying them? The NRA. I'm talking about what black lobbyists are doing something for black people. I'm not talking about the NRA.
Okay, so the NRA, for example, you need black lobbyists in there to make sure that blacks.
No, you don't. They have enough lobbyists.
No. Because if you knew anything about what you were talking about, you would understand that the NRA also, who's ran primarily by white people, they make the rules. So guess what they can do? They can make illegal
what rules?
The rules of gun ownership.
No, they don't. The legislator does.
And there are lobbyists to the legislators for gun ownership, man.
Yeah, but they don't make
so you need
laws.
Black folks. So you need black folks in there pushing. Yes, you need blacks in there pushing the laws, helping to legislate the laws.
Okay, but that's for everybody. That's gun. I'm talking about specifically for blacks.
This is how the world works right now.
No, because immigrants, Latinos got their own shit. They lobbying for.
What are they lobbying for?
How you think they getting it? So, hey, sanctuary cities. What do you think they lobbying for? To be able to come in this country and operate as a citizen without being one.
That's a government push sanction.
That is because people are pushing for, like AOC. People are pushing for this. Literally, politicians are pushing for
it.
It.
So that's why you need the what form did you say that was? The what? The what? The AOC.
AOC. That politician. AOC.
AOC. Right. So you need a lobbyist in there, a black lobbyist should be in there saying no. We don't want that.
Oh, yeah,
so I agree with you. I agree. See, we're saying the same things. You're just not comprehending, nor are you understanding what I'm saying because you're too busy wanting to win a point in this debate.
No, I'm not about that, man.
I've conceded.
I'm doing both at the same time. It don't matter.
Well, no, not really. I've conceded to you several points because I said early on through the rebuttal, I said I agree with you that we need to do more, but we're not at zero balance. That's a huge difference. You say we don't have any, meaning zero power. I'm saying that we do. It's not as much as what you or I or anyone else would like, but we do have power. You're saying that one is zero to you in your mind. That's what you're saying.
Yep. If you at the bottom, you got no power.
And I just proved to you that even if you're at the bottom and I got $1. Profit adult, you have $0. I have $1. That's more than what you have. So if we had zero, then I would say okay.
Okay, but the person, if you have $1,
you're right.
Let me put it simple for you. If you got $1
and Profit Adult has 3, he can obviously do more with $3 than I can with 1. Correct?
Exactly. So if everybody's ahead of you, how do you have power? Even if you have $1,
but you're not out the game because I don't have zero.
No, so you're at the bottom.
No. This common sense, young man. You have $0. You can't go to the store and get a pack of chewing gum. I have $1. I could go get 4 packs for 25 cents or 3 packs plus tax. I could go get 3 packs. You can't even get 1. Now,
see, look, this is where the difference in mindset comes in because, like I said, to me, one is none. When I'm down to my, if I'm down to a certain amount of money, I have no money. Okay, if I'm down to a certain point in life, I have nothing. Even when I do have something, this is how I look because this is how I think because it keeps me pushing forward. You know what I mean?
Let me show you what power is. Let me show you what's going to happen with power. This coronavirus, and I'm not trying to change the topic of the debate, but watch, a lot of things are going to change in this society because of this, because of the economic impact that it's had. A lot of things are going to change, and you're going to see that this is where I will agree with you that we don't take advantage of the things that we need to take advantage of when we have the opportunity to do so. Other people are opportunists. In other words, the Mexicans, they're going to go out here, they're going to take advantage because they're going to bail out the housing market, they're going to push the rates down real low, and they're going to buy up shit. We're not going to do that. We believe in trying to save what we have for a rainy day, and they're going to go out and they're going to go invest. By and large, okay. You're talking about groups here. We're not talking about single-minded people. All right. They're gonna come out. They're gonna bail out all of these industries just like they did the last time because of the economic hit that this country has had. So that is a prime time that we need to make our move. Now, let me give you some examples real quick. There were approximately 3 different times in this country when we could have all but leveled the playing field. In other words, we could be in a lot better position than where we are now. The first time was in 1865 when they freed the slaves. We didn't do what we were supposed to do because we didn't have the knowledge, nor did we have the understanding of what it would take to get us where we needed to get to. We were just let off the plantation. We was permitted from even reading and writing, basically. All right. The second time was 1965. 1965 was right at the height of the civil rights movement when we had all these fires and revolts and things of that nature that was going on across the country. Coincidentally, one of the greatest leaders of all times, Martin Luther King, was murdered. The next time, the third and final time when we could have actually moved past where we are now, which would alleviate a lot of this not having power, being locked out of certain institutions, was in 2005. When was President Obama elected for the first time?
Well, 08.
08. So that was 3 years prior. So we had 3 years in 2005 leading up until the 08 presidential election when we got our first black president. We should have started at that point because we missed the first 2 times. Because we were just coming off of not being.
Here's the problem.
Hold on. I'm trying to give you a little bit of history so you may understand. Now you take a group of people and you put them in one room. You take another group of people, you put them in another room. You educate one group, you don't educate the other group. You turn both groups out into another room, into a bigger room, put them in that room together. Who makes further advances?
Look, man, here's the thing, man. You keep saying, look, I understand the analogy.
I just want to take you down the road, though, so you will understand. I'm not trying to win the debate at this point. I'm just trying to get some information.
I know because you can't. So, but here's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I'm asking you a question. I need you to I need you to go down the rabbit hole. Who has the better opportunity to get further, have a better chance of advancing? The people that was in the room who were permitted from getting an education, or the people in the room who were educated? Who has a better chance?
It depends on where your heart at, man.
It depends on where your heart at. If you don't know something, you don't know it. You can learn it, but you don't know it. You don't know how to fly a fucking rocket, do you? You don't know how to fly a 747, do you?
That's not the same as being educated.
It is.
It only takes 100 hours to learn math, reading, and writing.
It is. It is the same. Right. It only takes 100 hours. You're absolutely right. But look at the head start that everybody else got. When your ass is doing basic math, reading, and writing, they're already on calculus. They're already doing fucking liberal arts.
Yeah, things that you basically never gonna use.
Let me ask you a question. Those things are vitally important, man. See, this is what's wrong with niggas.
They're
those
really
things are vitally important. Yes, they are.
Things that are important are things like actual things that you use in daily life.
So for you to go back and say those things aren't important.
If you're not a mathematician, if you're not an engineer, then no, calculus is not important.
Right, it's not important. It's not important until you start.
Unless you have to use it for your field.
Exactly, and you should be abreast of calculus because when they start doing this funny ass math on you for you to buy these houses and you to buy this,
it's not funny math. It's addition, subtraction, and multiplication.
No. When they start doing all of these goddamn,
I'm in real estate. There's no calculus. There's
okay.
But here,
I don't want to go. Let's go back to the power conversation. Because I'm just proving to you again that you can't take a group of people who were permitted from getting education, place them behind the power.
All right, so let me. This is where you're wrong at, man.
You cannot take a group of people,
dude. That was so. Yes, you can.
Coming off the plantation, did not have a nickel to their name or a pot to piss
in,
or where to throw it out of, and then go 100 years. And then go 100. Was it? We talking about 1865? 1965 was 100 years. 2005 was what? 150 years.
Here's where you're wrong, man. Here's where you're wrong. You keep saying there was 3 times.
Society doesn't work that way.
You keep saying there was 3 times we could have leveled the playing field. You keep saying that every day.
We could have got close.
Dude. There is. Let me tell you where you're wrong. No, there wasn't 3 times. There is every day you have a chance to level the playing field. We have the internet.
We do now. So why is it not being done? Since you say we don't have power, there are doctors and lawyers leaving colleges and universities.
That is the problem. That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of this right now.
There are black doctors and black attorneys and black lawyers leaving these colleges and universities every day. There are young black men entering into the armed forces every day. There are young black men and young black women entering into the very field like what you're in every day. So I don't get what you're saying when you say we don't have any power because we don't own anything. There are a lot of...
Once again, you equating power just to the fact that you're able to survive.
I'm equating power to what you equated to.
No, I'm equating power to controlling things.
You equate power to ownership and
owning
control.
Things.
Right, ownership and control. So if you are... Do you own anything right now as in the real estate market? Do you have a whole track row of houses that you can say, I own these and I'm selling them under my real estate farm?
I have ownership in some property, and I'm getting there. I'm in the progression to do
so
that.
I have ownership in some property too. I'm sure.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm sure Prophet of Thought does too. And there are millions of others Americans out here that have ownership in homes and properties and real estate as well. So there's your ownership.
But we know that, but black people have the lowest ownership of that.
What's next?
No, that's not ownership, man. Dude, like I said, just because you own one thing, your white counterpart, your Asian counterpart still owns a lot more.
But one is greater than zero. I own a home versus somebody that's renting an apartment. It's not.
I'm not. See. I don't look like I said. If one, you comfortable with that one, I'm not.
Right. I get you, and I just told you there is where we can agree because we do need more. We do need to do more. That's where we can agree. Where we disagree at is when you say, "Well, we don't own anything, therefore." I just showed you what we do. There are black taxi cab companies still in existence. There are black bus companies still in existence. There are black real estate companies that are in existence who own property.
Once again, just because they are black, look, compare
now
that
you go back to your ideology.
I'm going back to the numbers. Compare that to the other races who own things. I just put up the numbers. We're at the lowest in all those categories. That's not power.
But the problem is we're not at zero.
When you can't,
that's where we are.
Look, we're at the lowest. Brother. In order to have power, you have to have power over other people.
We're not at zero.
You don't.
So you talking
if you don't have power over other people, you have no power.
What do you mean you don't have power over other people?
If you don't have the ability to control, manipulate.
Who has the ability to control other people?
If you're a boss, you do.
White people have the ability to control other people. No, this is where the ideology fails.
Even marketing is manipulation. I mean,
this is where your ideology fails pale in comparison because motherfuckers can walk away from a fucking job and create
now that they got bills to pay.
There are black. They can build it.
Now that they got bills due.
There are black people doing it every day.
Like I said, you keep pointing out. You keep pointing out.
Do you not know of any black people?
Just because. Okay, how many are doing it every day? How many of them are doing it?
I don't know. Do you know the numbers? I don't know the numbers.
I put them up.
You pull up what you know, what's been reported. You don't know what.
Yes.
You don't know
what's important. What's reported?
You don't know what's going to be reported next year. The next.
Okay, well, we got to use the data that we have now. We have to use the data that we have now. So let's use the
data that we have now. So what does the data say? Does the data say zero or does the data say a few?
Look, man, if other people are ahead of you, if other people are ahead of you,
I'm asking you a simple question.
If everybody else is ahead of you, you're at zero. If everybody else is ahead of you, you're at zero.
Does the data say zero or does the data say a few?
No, the data says zero because you're at the bottom. Everybody else is ahead of you. Yes.
So what? Where that wasn't what I saw on the data that you put up.
Because check this out. If in 33 years,
in the data that you put up.
33 years, we are declining wealth. We are declining right now. Expert economists say in 2053 we're going to have zero.
Yes,
so we're on our way there.
This whole country is declining.
No, that's for black people. In 33 years, we're going to be at zero net worth.
Well, right, I got you. You're talking about collectively. There's your argument again. Yes. Collectively. So when you look at it, when you look at another group, when you look at another group of collective of black people, that data is going to be different.
No, we're talking about us as a whole. I mean,
right, I know, but you got to understand that there are levels to everything. So when you talk about in 33 years,
pretty clear.
In 33 years from now, myself, Prophet of Thought, and I don't know the timekeeper all that well, but I'm quite sure gentlemen in our position.
Putting out personal examples again.
Well, yeah, because this is that's what we're talking about the now, so that's what I'm using. And brothers like me, and 33 years from now, we'll be in a lot better position than some of the other brothers.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with that, but we're not talking about.
So there are the levels. There are the levels. There are the levels that you're talking about. You're always going to have the extremely poor, the homeless. You're always going to have those that are living in poverty. You're always going to have those that are at the belt line of being between poverty and lower middle class. Then you're going to have upper class, upper middle class, then upper middle class. Then you're going to have rich. Then you're going to have wealthy.
That's understand society. That, but
that's
we're
society.
We're talking about black people. Do black people have power?
Yes. Okay. I keep telling you that. I just showed you that.
If you have, you showed the example. Power,
you showed the example. You showed the example yourself.
Why you showed the example yourself. Ahead of us. Who do we have power over? Why everybody else is ahead of us? We got power.
Well, who? Everybody. We're at the. You're telling me that by what you just showed, we're at the bottom.
Yes.
There is nobody else below us.
No.
Nobody.
No.
Okay, so it's whites, Mexicans. Then where do we fall in at?
Asians. We got all. List any group.
Wait. So you're telling me that it's whites, it's Mexicans, then Asians. Who's next?
I mean, what you want to go down to the list of?
Yeah, go down the list. Who's next?
I mean, it's so many races in America. I mean,
right, but who's next?
All right, start again. Start over.
Why should I have to start over? You're telling me. If you're telling me that we fall in. You're telling me
on the economic totem pole, blacks are at the bottom. Okay. And we have Mexicans or Latinos, and then between whites and Asians, they're fighting it out.
Economic totem pole, right?
Yeah. Who's below black? If anybody school me.
So you said that we have a lot of different races here. Where the American Indians fit into this? The indigenous people.
Well, seeing as then it's not that many of them, but
but see that again, it's not that many of them. But
they own more. They have casino. They have their own infrastructure. They own reservations.
They own a few fucking casinos and reservations. When you got black folks that actually own homes,
and on top of that, they have more power than us in this country. They have reservations.
How
the government sets aside things for them.
How
they give them money.
They have a plot of indigenous land.
They have political leverage than you.
Again, man.
Hold on for 1 second. We're gonna do 10 more minutes of this. Brother KIT, can I get 10 minutes on the clock, please? We're gonna do 10 more minutes of this, then we're gonna do closing arguments. Brother KIT, you there?
Yeah, sorry, I got you. I got it set up now. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. All right, ready to go.
All right. 10 more minutes, then we go into closing arguments.
Okay, go ahead.
Carry on, brothers.
As I was saying, man.
Go ahead.
When you're at the bottom, you have no power. It's just that simple, man. I don't understand, how that's being, misconstrued. When you're at the bottom, you have no power. That's no power. All right. If you have $1 and everybody else has 2 or more, you're at the bottom. You have no power. All right, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. That means everybody else is above you. When the government decides to do something, you are the last person thought about, if at all. All right, you have the lowest entrepreneurship rates, the lowest amount of money that circulates. The black dollar stays amongst black people for what, 12 minutes?
That's what Dr. Anderson. That's a Dr. Anderson talking point.
I mean, I'm just saying, man.
And I will agree. And I will agree with you that we do need to do more. Again, black businesses, we need more. No one would disagree with that. But for you to sit here by your own self-admission and your own ideology and say that we're at the bottom means a position. It doesn't mean that you have zero. When you have zero power, then you can talk to me about not having power in this country. That's not the case. That's not where we are. It's not. We may be at 20%. We may be at 30%. We may be 5 to 10% behind the Mexicans in this country. We may be 3 to 4% behind the Asians in this country, but we're not at 0% as far as our economic power is concerned in this country.
Okay, so I'm defining power by our position in the human family
tree.
You
can always, if that's the case, if you want to define that, but then you look at the wealth gap, and that tells you all you need to know. We're 780% behind the average white man. All you got to do is look at the wealth gap, and that'll tell you where you are in economics.
I'm talking about,
That's
yeah,
easy.
yeah. Okay, so
That's easy. You won't get an argument. But when you tell me that we're at $0, that means that we don't have
no,
a
we
way
will
to
be
end
at
it.
zero
No,
2053.
no. We're talking about the here and now. We're not talking about what's gonna happen. That's what you just told me a moment ago. We ain't talking about 2033 right now. We're
Yeah,
talking
and
about
right
right now, the
now
present
we
moment.
have no power because we're at the bottom. That is what I'm talking about. We're at the bottom. That means we have no power.
In your mind, it does. I just simplified it for you. I
No,
don't know
that's
how
just.
much.
I mean,
I
if
don't know how much simpler I can make it.
to compare
Look,
power, you
zero.
have to
Okay,
compare
right.
yourself to
Okay.
other
All right.
humans. You
Listen.
compare yourself to other
All right.
humans.
Listen. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you real quick, young man. Okay. I make. Let's say I make $50,000 a year. Right. Let's say that the white boy makes $100,000 a year. Where am I at power wise to him?
You're beneath him.
Right. I'm beneath him, but I still have power because I still can go out here and sustain life. I still can go out here and invest. I still can go
You
out
have no
here.
power relative to him
I still
compared
can
to
go out.
him.
Right. That so your argument
That's
is
what I'm
all
talking
wrong.
about. No, it's not because you're talking about
Your
power is
argument
how
is
you
all
rule.
wrong.
It's how you deal with other
Your
people.
argument is all wrong,
Somebody's going to
brother.
be dominant. Somebody's going to be submissive.
Right. You're arguing the wrong argument.
You're talking about the power to live. I'm talking about the
I'm not
power
talking
to
about the power to
own.
live. I'm talking about the power to thrive and survive. And that's where we are in case you haven't.
To survive is not power.
And that's where we are in case you're arguing.
Surviving is not power.
If you're listening instead of trying to win a point, see again, then you will understand what's being said. Then this whole show is off because you said we don't have any power at all. That's wrong.
No, it is not wrong.
The show should be where we don't have as much power as everyone else.
When you're at the bottom, you have no power.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
That's
when you're
a
at the
lie.
bottom, you have no
That's a
power.
lie.
You're at
That's
the
a
mercy
lie.
of everybody else.
You're
Anything
not.
that you do get is not because of
You're
power.
not.
It's
You're
because other
just
people
not.
have mercy on you.
You're not. They're in a better position than you. That's all that means.
But they're in a more powerful position than you.
Right. So the white man could wipe every black, red, yellow, and green person off the face of the United States without
As of right now, yes.
That's what you're telling me? That's what you're telling me.
As of right now.
They could do that without the military. That's what you're telling me.
The military
that's what you're telling me, though. We're talking
the
about,
military will be involved.
No. I asked you a simple question. I laid out a specific question for you. You take away the military power. You're telling me, even with the numbers that they have, you're telling me, even with our numbers that we have incarcerated, dead, so forth and so on, that if they take away military power and it's man on man, force on force, you're telling me that they would just wipe us out real easy. That's what you're telling me. Because we don't have any power.
Talking about some race war type shit?
No, because we don't have any power.
If it was some all out, let me answer that question. If it was an all out man to man, take away the military power, the police power in this country, and it was a race war, dude, we would get fucked up.
You sure about that?
We don't have the same amount of guns as them.
So you have an inferiority complex.
No. I don't have an inferiority complex. We don't have. Hold on.
You look at yourself as being inferior.
No, it's not even that. It's just being logical.
You keep saying
they own more guns.
Every logical.
They own more guns.
Every logical scenario that I gave you
more than likely have more training.
That's
not a logical scenario. A race was logical.
Every logical scenario that I gave you, you went away from. Every logical scenario.
But I'm just giving you the truth. If it was to go down like that, you
ran from it. I asked you a simple question earlier.
You asked about a race war.
You have $0. I have $1. Prophet Adult has 3. Who has more power?
The people who, if you're in last place, you don't have no power.
All right, but you have $0. That means you have 0 power whatsoever.
No, you have $0. Doesn't mean you have 0 power. Zero power is when you're at the bottom.
Right, you don't have any power because $0 will mean you will be at the bottom economically.
No,
that's I'm taking you down the rabbit hole. $0 means that you have 0 power to purchase land, whatever, clothes, food. You have $0. I have $1. Does that mean that I'm just as powerless as you are? Because we're both at the bottom. You're just a little bit further down the line than I am.
Look, man, I keep saying this. When you're at the bottom, you have no power because you're at the mercy of everybody else above you.
Then you're arguing the wrong point.
No, I'm not.
The point is that we do not have power. We
You
just have
don't
less
have any
power.
power because you're at the bottom.
I gave it to you a moment ago.
You're talking about the power to
you're
survive.
Conflating, listen,
the power to survive is not power.
You're conflating absolute power, right? That's what you're doing.
I'm talking about power to control things, control industries, control resources. Okay, you can't do that when you're at the bottom. You're talking about just living and surviving. That's not power.
So in your world, what would you like to see in your world?
I'm just saying equal representation.
No, not what you're just saying. In your world, what would
I was about to answer. Equal representation in all the areas that run human life is relative to the black population. You're saying we're 17%. I think we're less than that we should be represented 17% in all fields.
And if you look at the numbers, we are.
No, we are not.
We may be slightly behind in places like STEM. We may be slightly behind in places like
slightly. We're not, dude. We're not even. We're not. No, we're like 5 to 6% in STEM. That's more than slightly behind. You know, education, things like that. These black people are not involved on a proportionate level.
Again, I do not disagree with you. I'm saying simply that we're not where we should be, but I'm telling you that we are not absolutely powerless. We are not.
That's
if we were powerless, then we wouldn't. Then what you're saying is there's no need for this conversation. We just need to all pack it in. We just need to all just say, well, that's it. We just done.
I'm not saying we're done. We should be trying to get from the bottom. We should be trying to get out from the bottom.
That's not the argument. You're saying we're powerless. So why even try? Because
what you mean why try? That should be motivation. That should be motivation.
To be powerless means that you shouldn't even want to try.
Just because if you weak, you can you can hit the gym, you can get stronger and become strong.
That's your
I'm not. When did I say why should we not try? I never said that.
You having one is zero. It's the same.
And we should try to get more than one. We should try to get more. I don't
disagree with you there. I'm telling you.
So where you getting? I never said.
I don't disagree with you there, brother. You're telling me that if you got one of something, it's just like having zero of something.
Yeah.
And that's what
aren't you in the military?
That's where we disagree at.
In the military.
Which would you rather have?
Would you military just teach you that?
No. The military didn't teach me that. That's what I don't know what the fuck you talking about because the Army didn't teach me that.
Oh, well,
it didn't teach me that at all. I don't know what the fuck. What Army were you ever in to have that ideology?
I don't know where you talking about because that's exactly what they tell. Having one, having none.
That is not an ideology.
One is none. It's from the Marine Corps. 2 is one, 1 is none.
Well, that's the Marine Corps ideology. The Army ideology, we don't think like that.
What shit?
That's the Marine Corps ideology.
Makes sense.
Army or Marine? Were you Army or Marine?
Makes sense. That was the Navy.
Right, because Marines, bullet catchers. Do as you're told. Go take that hill.
The whole military. What do you mean? The whole military do what you told?
No.
That's time. That's time, brothers. That's time. Now we're gonna go into closing arguments. We started off with Brother Ramil, so we're gonna start off with the general timekeeper. Can I get 7 minutes on the clock, please? General,
I got you up. Hey, listen, man. This is what I would tell everybody that's listening, right? If you follow the ideology of some of the younger generation, and you're fighting an uphill battle. They don't have the understanding to get to where they need to get to because they don't want to listen to those who came before them that have the knowledge to pass on to them so they don't make the same mistakes. I'm not in total disagreement with the brother Ramil. I'm simply saying that his ideology of having one is the same as having zero. Now, you tell me anybody in this damn chat, you tell me, would you rather have $0 or would you rather have $100? You tell me if that's the same as having none, if that's the same as being powerless. I don't know. Would you rather have $1,000 or $10,000? You tell me. Now, I can't disagree with him saying where our positioning is in this economy and this society. I would argue that we're not the bottom race in this in the United States of America. I would argue that fact. I'm gonna have to do some research, and if I'm wrong, I'll come back and I'll recant this statement. But no, I believe that we are holding steady in third position. The Hispanic race has overtaken us in this country by numbers. by numbers and maybe slightly have an economic edge over us. Maybe slightly. So I have to go and look at it. Okay. This whole talking point of 2033, we're gonna be so destitute and so fucked off to where we can't survive. That's a misnomer. Because if that's the case, everybody that's working out there today that's under the power and the sound of my voice, you should just give up and pack it in right now. We're at 2020. You're talking about 33 years. That's less than a generation, a little more than a generation. So you should just give it up. You should just quit right now because by and large, holistically speaking, all of us are in a damn handbasket on our way to hell. And we won't have a put the pots in or a window to throw it out of come 2033. I disagree with that because I see black people holding steady across this goddamn country in every corner of the country, in every platform of the country, socially, economically, politically, we're holding steady. Yes, he is correct. We are not where we should be, but we're not at the absolute powerless zero at the bottom as he says we are. I disagree with that. I believe that we are not represented proportionately as we should be. So we need more numbers. We need to bluster our numbers as far as getting into politics. We need to bluster our numbers, getting into every field in this country. Who doesn't want more of that? We need more home ownership. We need more business ownership. We need more schools. We need more of everything in this country. I don't disagree with that. But to say that we're absolutely powerless, to say that we're zero because of our position within this country, then for him to turn around and say, well, based upon these numbers on his own chart, it showed us where? Right behind the Hispanics in this community, right in this country. And that's simply because they've had an influx over the last 20 years or so. Their numbers went up. So we need to take a page out of their books because that's what they did to us. They took a page out of our book. They went back and said, how do we get to where we want to be? Oh, this is what they did back in the day, which is when Ramil, he's not familiar with that. So he doesn't know. He wasn't back there then. So he don't understand what I'm talking about. I'm sure that Prophet of Thought does. He knows how we used to do the same exact thing that the Mexican and Latino people are doing in this country today. 4 or 5 families get together, live in one house. They'll go out. And I said this on many, many different platforms. That's exactly how we used to do it back in the day, so to speak. 4 or 5 families would get together. They send for somebody from down south, bring them out, help them get a good job. They would buy a house. They send back, get somebody else. That's all they're doing. We could do the same thing. We just need to go back to that. We need to bring some of that old school attitude back. The problem is you got a lot of new school Negroes that are not willing to listen. We're simply pumping out the information and telling them, I've been down that road before. Don't do that. Don't do this. Go here, go there, do this. Look at that. Look at this. Go into this field. They're hard-headed. They want to be out here on some pump and dump shit. It's not a shot. That's what it is. They don't want to create strong black families. They want to stand in difference. That's where they are. I'm going to go ahead on and give them the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
All right. So you're conceding your time to Brother Ramil?
Yeah, I'll give him the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds because it's asinine. His belief system is asinine.
Well, you got 9 and change, Brother Ramil. You up. You muted, Brother Ramil.
Yeah. You know, I can't y'all can never let me get through one of these debates with y'all bringing up the pump and dump. Hey man, I'll tell you one thing. Pump and dump keeps upwardly mobile men in a better position than marriage or any sort of relationship with a female who can economically ruin you at any given moment. Fuck that. But anyway, as far as the topic, black people don't have any power. When you're at the bottom, you're at the mercy of other people. Therefore, you have no power. Okay, 2 is 1, 1 is none. All right, I'm not comfortable being at the bottom. Maybe you guys are. I'm not. But that's not power because you're at the mercy of everybody else. And anything you get while you're at the bottom, it's because somebody felt sorry for you. All right, you don't have no power. This is why they're not giving you any reparations. All right, you had no power since Africans sold other Africans into slavery. When we got out of slavery, we owned 0.1% of everything. Into 2020, we still own 0.1%. We don't own anything. We have no political leverage. There are no black lobbyists fighting for a black agenda for specifically black people like other races have. We have no economic leverage. We have the lowest entrepreneurship rate out of all races. I pulled the chart up and showed that. So we have no economic leverage, which means we have no political leverage. Also, we have our institutions are failing. We don't have any institutions for us, by us, specifically fighting for us that are funded by us. That means no power. That means anything we get from the government is because they feel sorry for us. We have no power. The biggest example of that is the fact that they're not giving you reparations. They basically said, fuck you niggas. We ain't giving you no reparations. That is the biggest example of we have no power. The fact that they pay everybody. They pay Japan. They pay the Japanese. They pay Eskimos. They pay some of the Jews. They pay the Indians. Shit, they even gave the Gully Geechee a little bit of change. But they didn't give black people anything because you have no power and you have no leverage. So they don't have to give you anything. You own no industries. You're not represented in industries that control human life and relative to your percentage of the population, which according to the general is 17%. We use that number. You're not represented 17% in the law field, the medical field, any of the STEM fields, the education field. You're not represented according to your population. This means you have no power. All right. We're at the mercy of other humans and what they allow us to do. We use other people's sympathy to keep us surviving on a day-to-day basis. This is why surviving is not power. All right. You're literally living according to the mercy of other people, that they don't just come in and destroy you. All right. You keep saying that we're not at the bottom. Well, who's below us? Who's below blacks? There's nobody. All right. We're at the bottom race in this country. I don't know how you equate that to having any sort of power, no matter what we own. I don't see it. All right. I pulled up the chart and showed you that blacks are more disproportionately worse off than other demographics when it came to business. Anything we did have going for us, we let it go with civil rights when we gave up all of our economic interests to fit in with white people. So we went down the wrong track, and I think we need to go back to that fork in the road and see what we did wrong. All right. The black vote's not even that important. They keep lying to black people every year. If you got political power, why they keep lying to you? Then when a nigga get in office, you don't get anything. They've been pulling the same trick on black people all this time because your vote don't mean anything. And they don't need it. All right. So, I mean, look, man. You say we have power because you got $1 and somebody else might have 2, 3, or 4. I say if you got $1 and everybody else got more, you don't got power. Because you're at the bottom, man. That's my definition of having power. Other than that, man, I don't think I can make it any more clearer. I mean, I ain't finna beat a dead horse.
All right, you don't have to beat the dead horse. At the end of the day, you keep saying 0 is equal to or greater than 1, and that's where you're wrong at. And I told you I conceded the fact, which doesn't mean that I concede this debate with you. I conceded the fact that being represented, having the equal representation, where we're falling pale at, yes, I will agree and concede to that. But it's not as though we don't have any representation. That's where you're wrong at. It's not as though we're not representing at all across the economic, social, political field in this country. That's where you're wrong at. I keep telling you that. If we didn't have one black senator, if we didn't have that one black Supreme Court justice, if we didn't have the Congressional Black Congress, then I would say, you know what, you got a point. If we didn't have any black doctors,
those people do not fight for anything black.
I would say you're right. If we didn't have,
but they don't have a black agenda.
I don't care what they're doing.
You should care what they're doing.
Here it is. The point of the matter is you're making assumptions without a true quantitative fact.
No,
you're making an assumption without a true quantitative fact. That's what you're doing.
Okay, what is the Black Congressional Caucus done for black people?
Doing.
What have they passed for black people?
Do you know?
I'm asking you're using them as an example.
Do you know what they haven't passed?
But no, it's up.
No, I'm asking you what happened. What do you know?
I know they haven't passed. I know a lot that they haven't passed.
What happened? What is it that
reparations? They haven't passed that.
They haven't passed reparations. It's been on the table a couple of times. It hasn't come to fruition It hasn't come to fruition as of yet. So
I'm just saying, man.
In 2033, all we can do is wait. So
2053,
oh, that's even worse. So in 2053, if we don't have reparations by then, and you and I are both living still, and we have come across the same conversations, and we still don't have reparations, we're even further at the, or better yet, we're at a zero rate, at a zero attrition rate, right, in this country. That means that we've lost all of our senators, black senators. We've lost all of our the black caucus is no longer in existence. We don't have any black doctors or lawyers or any. We don't have nothing black in this country. We're just all here working to survive, as you say, right? Then I would say, okay, now we're powerless. We don't have any power whatsoever. See, you want to push a thing of doom and gloom. I would have to tell you at that point, now we're powerless because you don't have a voice to say, well, at least you got a voice to say, well, I disagree with that.
Man, that's not, look, man.
I object. I disagree with that. No, but that's power. You don't even have, if you don't have anybody at the White House to say, a senator to say, nope, I vote against that. I'm telling you, all I'm saying
once again,
right, I get you. Once again, but at the end of the day, you keep pushing this. We don't have any power.
We don't.
Any is zero. Any is zero. And by your own self ideology, you just said, even if you got one, it's just like having zero to me because you're still at the bottom.
Yeah, because we're at the bottom. Yeah,
that may be true, but you still got one.
No, it is true. That's how the world works.
You still got a voice.
A voice that nobody has to listen to.
So you can walk in the store with $0 in your pocket and buy a soda.
What's that got to do with?
You keep. I'm just showing you what power is. You got. That's just like having a voice there. One black person in the White House to say, "Hey, one black."
Yeah, and if somebody walk in the store and say, "If one person, and another person comes in the store and say, I give $2 for that."
You're arguing the wrong point. You should be arguing how much power. You should be arguing how much power we have versus how much power we like. That's what you should be arguing.
At the bottom, you have none. At the bottom, because if you come in the store with that $1 and I come in with $2 and I say, hey, I give $2 for that product, they're gonna give it to me instead.
Say what now?
Because if you say you got $1 and you try to get a soda and I walk in and say I give you $2 for the soda to the store owner, he gonna give me the soda.
Right. That means that I just have to go and buy another soda or go to another store.
Or then if somebody, that same nigga with $2 is behind you.
Or better yet, guess what I do? Create my own. I go home.
You can't do that with $1.
I go home, give me some corn syrup, or goddamn it, I work with the next brother next to me that got $2. Now we have 3 where he has.
Okay,
one.
And I agree with that, but I'm saying that should be those are the steps. But earlier you said I was talking about we being hopeless. No, that would be better to do that, to go compete.
No, that wasn't a part of the conversation. We didn't enter that in there. You entered in 0, 1 is just like having 0 to you. And I said no. I said, and I agreed where I told you that we need to work together more because we do need more people in more positions. I agree with that. That would be asinine of me not to. That's the stupidity part of the conversation. But the more asinine part, the more and the even worse part is when you say having 1 is just like having 0. That's dumb as fuck.
All right, that's going to bring.
I guess the Marines are dumb as fuck. I guess the Marines are dumb as fuck. Then
the Marines fucked you up, brother. I just got.
That's going to bring. That's going to bring the debate to a close. Good shit, brothers. Good shit as always. Good shit. Good shit. Good debate. Now what we usually do. I don't know what y'all look like on time. But we take some questions from the chat room if there's any. I don't know what you looking like on time, brother Ramil.
I'm good, man. Let it flow.
Oh yeah, let it flow.
How you look? Y'all good on time? All right.
Yeah.
Well, y'all know how we do it here. You got to super chat those questions or hit this here Cash App. It's up to you, because if you don't have any questions for the brothers, I'm gonna let them go. So shoot those questions up. If you got them, go ahead. Don't be shy. No one will harm you here. Come on, shoot them up. Shoot them up. If you got questions, shoot them up. Now's the time. Now
Spirited
is
debate,
the time
man.
if you have questions.
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
facts.
definitely.
Yeah.
One of the better ones that I've seen on here.
what's up.
spirited debate, but what we have to do is start talking about how do we fix things instead of pointing to the doom and gloom. Right now, that's what's happening because of the coronavirus, and I think Brother T.P.O.T brought that up. That's what's happening. There's a lot of doom and gloom being pushed instead of pushing people to better prepared. That lends over into your ideology. One is just like having none. That's why Black folks are running out to the stores right now, buying up every goddamn thing if you live within certain communities, just like white folks are. So that tells me, guess what? They are part of the 88th percentile rule, just like I am. That's why I introduced that into the conversation. You might as well face the facts, brother. It's not just about color or race. What we're dealing with right now, we're dealing with this social economic situation that we're in is about class, the haves and the have-nots. At the end of the day,
It's about class and race.
The root of all
It's both. It's both. It's class and it's race. That's just what it is.
It is. I don't disagree with that. To a certain degree, it is. I don't disagree with that. I don't. I can't.
That's it, man.
Because we've seen that in this country.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that in the country. Shit, they went. LeBron James is a billionaire? They still went and broke nigger on his door. So yes, it is about race, very much so. Unless it was a damn ploy, a stunt.
Hold up. We got a $4.99 super chat from Lady JV. Appreciate that. Good look on that, Lady JV. She says most Chinese in the U.S. are in complete poverty. The large wealth gap amongst Chinese in America skews the data. Ramil, what do you say to that?
Okay, so what's your point? I mean, Chinese are still doing better than blacks in America, despite the wealth gap. Their bottom Chinese are still doing better than a lot of black people. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, what's the point? I'm trying to understand the point.
You haven't been to Chinatown, Ramil.
I have. I'm from Chicago.
You might have a different outlook.
There's a Chinatown on 22nd and Surrey.
Well, you do know.
And I know there's four Asians.
You do know that the real China, that's a community. You do know that the real Chinatown is in California, right?
There's Chinatowns in pretty much every major city.
You do know that, right?
What do you mean real Chinatown?
No, there's not. The real Chinatown.
I mean, LA, New York, Chicago.
The community that was created for the Chinese people in this country back in the 40s and 50s. That's the real China.
Dude. Chinatown is I agree with that, but there's a China where you see those.
What you have is a Chinese district.
That's Chinatown. Yes, that is Chinatown. Yes.
Well, lady, hold on a second.
Community.
Hold on a second, brother. Lady JV did a follow-up. She said her point is blacks are actually doing better.
So he's saying that blacks are doing better than the Chinese population in America. That's what she's alleging. Because I would disagree with that.
We just got another super chat from Brother Roscoe. Good look on that. Appreciate that, brother. Brother Roscoe says, great stream, T.P.O.T. Simple question for the general. Which stakeholder in a business has the power? The one who owns 51% or the one who owns 49%?
So this is what it's exactly. See, look, if you have 49% of the company, you have no power. That's what I'm getting at. All right, the guy with the majority owner, he has all the power because he has voting rights for majority of the company. Do you not understand that?
No, he has 51% of the power. You still have power, you just don't have it.
No, you don't, because when it comes to voting,
that doesn't mean that that person has total and absolute power.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Because when the decision comes to make a vote on something,
just has more.
Who's going to win every vote on that?
He's not. He only owns more. stakeholders.
Exactly.
Shareholders.
So if who's going to have more power in that company?
but okay, but you got to understand. Okay, slow down, man. That's why you have a board of trustees and a board of directors in cases like that. That's why those things are prevalent.
That's what we're talking about.
All right.
If one has
So
50, if one board of directors has 51% and the other has 49%, the one with the 51% every time he wins.
No, he doesn't. They take it to a vote, and depending upon if the person with 49%'s idea is better, he gets more votes when they go in front of the board of directors.
No, we're talking about the actual board of directors only.
Each board of directors, each individual gets a vote.
So what if there's two? Let's say there's two directors, okay? One that's 51%, one that's 49%. The one with the 51% ownership
talking about
all the power.
Okay, all right. Let's slow down so I can break this down to you. You're talking about co-ownership. You and I both own a company. You have 41%, you have 49% of the power, I have 51% of the power. I say we're gonna go this way. You still own 49% ownership.
But your vote wins.
Hey, wait a minute. That's why now. Guess what? We're smart enough in this company to have 12 people on the board of directors.
Okay, we're just
No, listen. See, you gotta listen so you can educate yourself. Because you and I are disagreement, we take it and we put it to the board of directors to vote on it. Now, if they like my idea better, then they vote with me. If they like your idea, then they vote with you. Just because you have
you changing the whole situation.
No, just because you have more financially invested, you may have 51% stake in ownership, but it does not mean if that's the case, we don't need a board of directors. You don't need it. I don't need to have ownership. I just need to let you do what you want to do.
We're just talking about the voting power of 51% versus 49%. If my vote counts for 51% and your vote counts for 49%,
are you familiar with the
every time?
Are you familiar with the House and the Senate? Do you know how that works?
Yes, but you keep changing the issue.
I'm not changing.
It's very simple. If my vote's worth 51% and yours is worth 49%, you have no
it's
power.
not worth that because we got to take it to the board of directors who have individual votes.
If you put in the operating agreement that your vote is worth 50,
if I get 7 votes. If you got 41% of the power and you get 7 votes off the board of directors, that means that
talking about that.
Way.
We're not talking about that.
It works.
We're talking about the numbers of 51 versus 49. That's all we're talking about. You keep adding other board of directors.
Yes. That 51 is greater than
it's
greater than 0. Now we're back to the same damn shit.
But if if I have 51% and you have 49%,
you got 50%. You got 50%. I got $1.
But listen, man.
No.
Please listen. If I have 51% and you have 49%, at any given time when we take a vote.
Hold on a second. Brother BMT with the $2 super chat. He said U.S. just announced China over 80% of our medicine. I don't know who he's directing that to.
Yeah, China, exactly. Now you see, here we go. This will explain it. China produces 80% of American medicine. Actually, they produce 90%. So right now, the American government is talking about how can we combat that? How can we fix that? Well, you shouldn't have let it happen in the first fucking place because now they have dominance over our government, over our country. So that goes back. If we both, they give us $1. They say, hey, we're gonna give you 49 cents. We're gonna give him 51 cents. We got to use this dollar together. And we got to pick a store to go spend this $1 at. You say, hey, let's go to the dollar store because shit cheaper. I say, no, it's cheaper, but I want to go to goddamn Walmart. So it's just me and you. You got more money, so you win. But in a greater society, the way things operate is it goes to the board of directors for a vote. So now we bring in a third party. Hey, TPT, what do you think? Where should we go spend goddamn $1 that we have collectively together at? And you say, well, if I were you, man, I wouldn't go to the dollar store. I wouldn't go to Walmart. I'd go to goddamn HEB because they cheaper than both of them. His vote wins. He's the deciding vote. That's how shit works in this country.
Well, we got another super chat from brother RJ. Good look on that $4.90 RJ. He says you can have 49% if the other shares are divided between multiple board members.
Thank you, and still win. and still get the deciding fucking
You're not taking
issue.
into account the 51%. Okay. The guy with the 51% has all the power because he's gonna win every time.
So then why do we have a board of directors?
I'm not talking
Why
about.
I'm
talking about it from a standpoint of a board of directors. If there's two board of directors, okay, listen clearly.
No,
if there's
it's
two,
not two board of directors.
if there
it's
can be
owners.
two,
no, it's two owners, and
it can be two board of directors. There's nothing in the law that says you need more than two board of directors. You can have two. All right, so let's take an example of two board of directors. All right, this is it is possible for a company to have two board of directors. You know that, right?
Yes,
you understand? Okay, so this company has two board of directors. One has 51% ownership, the other has 49%. The one with the 51% has the power. That's all I'm saying. If it has two board of directors, one has 51, one's 49.
No, you won't have two board of directors. What you would have
why can't you have two board of directors?
In that scenario, what you would have is two owners, and then the board
Either
of directors.
way, I'm talking about the head honchos, man.
No, listen.
Okay. I can't explain it anymore, man.
I know you can't explain it. That's why I'm trying to help you. You have two owners. One owner has 51% ownership. The other owner has 49% ownership. Then they have what's called a board of directors, which is a totally separate body of people. 5, 7, 12, however big the company is. Then they say, okay, the two owners are at a crossroad. The owner that has 49% says, no, I don't agree with that. The owner that says, well, I got 51% stake. This is what all checks and balances. And then they say, well, okay, we can't decide where we want to go because I can take my 49% and leave. You can have it. Then your ass is down 49%. I can start selling my shit off. And then your ass is down 49%. Or I can go out there and find somebody.
How am I down 49% when I'm getting the money? All right, look, it's cool, man. Okay, I look, man. Okay.
So now the basis of what I'm telling you is you take it to a board of directors. The board of directors is a separate
not every
body.
company has board of directors. What if it's a small business?
I didn't say every company.
Okay, I just said two people who have control over a company,
people,
man. You didn't make it a whole goddamn.
We're talking about a race of people, so that doesn't even matter. The whole.
Hold on a second. We got another super chat from Brother BMT. He says, now that China's pulling back, how will blacks move? I don't know who he's referring that question to. And we got another one coming up too. I don't know.
Go ahead, man. You got the answer. Yeah. How we gonna move now that China's pulling out? Should blacks move in and take charge, take control? That's for you, Ramil.
What's up now? What's up?
Now that China's pulling out, what was that again, brother? That BMT said, I'm not looking at my phone.
Yeah, he said now that China is pulling back, how will blacks move?
In regards to what
that's
the
for
economy?
You, BMT.
Here's my thing, man. I think a lot of stuff that, I don't know. That's a whole other conversation, man. As far as how blacks should move, obviously we need to be thinking more ownership. But I have a theory on a lot of that stuff. I'll probably break down on my channel. That's it. It's not. That's not a simple answer for that.
Oh yes, it is. When China moves out, we should move in and take control of those systems that they're vacating.
Yeah,
now we're gaining power.
But China, what do you mean? That's what I said. That's why I asked. What do you mean pulling out? Pulling out of the USA, or what do you mean pulling out? I mean the exports. It's different ways to interpret that. So if he can,
yeah, you might have to clarify that one, Brother BMT. We got another $9.99 super chat from Brother RJ again. Brother RJ says, if it's two, then no argument. I was just speaking to the fact that lower shares does not automatically equivocate to less power in the company when one considers how many are on the board, period.
And once again, I'm talking about two people because we're talking about having one is none. If there's two people, one has 51, one has 49. The guy with the 51 is going to always win. He has absolute power.
And that's what I was telling you earlier about you having $0 and me having $1. That doesn't mean you don't have any power at $0. Even though I got 49% power, I still have power.
Not compared to me with the 51. No, you don't.
I don't disagree with you there.
So that means you have no
Fuck,
power.
man. No, I do have power. I just don't have
No,
as much
because
as you.
what I say goes.
This is ignorant shit,
all
man.
right, if you say so, all right, we'll just move on to that. Agree to
This is
disagree,
ignorant
man.
shit right here.
No, it's not.
This is where.
Well, we got another super chat question from Brother Moses, a $10 super chat. Good look, Brother Moses. Appreciate that, brother. This is for Ramil. Which of the following is better for a black businessman? 2% of someone else's $100 or 100% of $2? Why, I ask, because some think that the question is about the transaction rather than the choice.
Thank you, brother.
What the fuck? All right, so what? So would I rather have somebody else's $2 or the 100% of the $2? What do you mean? I'd rather have the 100% of the two because I can reinvest and make more. I mean, and then that's why I'm at with that. I'm not even sure about what the fuck that means. I mean, people trying to be deep with some shit. I don't know. That's just, yeah, I don't know. But I'd rather have 100% of my own shit.
As would we all. But I asked the question of you earlier, and you couldn't get that concept. 0% value in a company is 0% value in a company. 49% value in a company is greater than 0%.
I'm not doing that again with you, dog. The 51, 49. We got to agree to disagree on that.
And that's why I'm killing your debate, your argument.
No, you're really not.
You're saying that we have zero power, and I'm telling you that's not true.
No, we have zero power because we're at the bottom.
If we had zero power, we wouldn't even be on the chart.
No, that's not true.
We wouldn't even be a factor.
That's not true. You're not a factor.
We wouldn't even be a factor. We wouldn't even be on the chart.
We're not a factor. That's why our wealth is declining. We're not on the charts. We're going below the charts.
Well, we got another $2 super chat. Good look on that, brother D Dilla. D Dilla says, in what universe does 49% beat out 51%? Basic math.
I don't know. I was thinking another dimension or some shit. I don't know.
I understand. I understand basic math, but also, brother D Dilla, you must understand that that's not how society works, right? We live in a democratic society, which means that we vote. That's the reason why you got different.
You don't have to vote if you own the company. Ain't nobody voted for nothing in my company.
Can you stop, man, for just a moment? Let me respond to the brother.
No, because democracy and business is two different things, man.
Right.
Every company does not give out stock.
Okay, so as I was saying, would you rather have 49% of invested in a company or 0%, brother dealer? Which would you rather have? Because at 0% means you have absolutely nothing. At 49%, which is what the argument centers around, whether we have power or not how much. It's simply about whether we as black people have power.
Now you're trying to change the argument. Now you're trying to change.
I'm not trying to change the argument.
Yes, you are.
That's what he entitled to show.
Because if you have
do we as black people in this country have power or not? That's the title of the show.
Yes.
It is not how much. You're arguing how much. I'm not arguing.
No, you're arguing how much. You keep talking about dollars.
No,
I'm saying we have none.
I'm simply
yes or no.
I use it as an example.
I'm saying no, we don't have power because we're at the bottom.
I'm simply saying that we do have power. You're saying that we don't.
Because we're at the bottom,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
we're
we got
the bottom. What percentage
of
the bottom will we
Hold on a second, General. Hold on.
Okay.
We got a $4.99 super chat from Lady JV. Good look on that, Lady JV. She says, you don't have absolute power because you are dependent on your partner's 49% capital. You would need to own enough of the business that can sustain itself.
See, ignorant comments like, how do you know 51% is not enough to sustain the business? I mean, you don't know what type of business it is. That's not true. They just have 49% ownership. That does not mean that you need the capital per se. The business can have low overhead costs. All right, so I mean, everybody trying to sound smart. No, that does not mean that. Does not mean
trying to sound smart.
Dependent on their capital.
Nobody's trying to sound smart here. People are just telling you some things that you may not be privy
No,
to.
it's just YouTube.
Well, we
No,
got
man,
a
it's fact.
hold on a second. This was for you, the general, from brother Edward. Good look on that $1.99 super chat, brother Edward. He says, the
Mhm.
general, how does one obtain power by begging?
You don't beg, you participate. Begging and participating is two different things. If you want to sit up on your ass and look for handouts from the government in the terms of welfare and social services, then that's what you're doing. You will be begging. But if you're up off your ass and you're working upwardly mobile and you're going out here gaining and getting a foothold and cutting a notch in this world for yourself, that's not begging. You're simply getting involved and participating in society as a whole.
All right. We got another $10 super chat from brother David Johnson. Good look on that super chat, brother David. He says, I don't think Ramil fully understands how policies and trade deals with other countries work in regards to power and politics. We don't have a country backing us, offering a service America needs and wants.
I don't think. Once again, man, that's more excuses to not participate in the process that's open for anybody. America has the best Congress money can buy. That's from the white man's mouth himself. All right. These are all these excuses. This is your country. You got America, you got a social security card. You're just not using the system to your advantage. You don't use the court system. Black man always getting sued, or we always the plaintiff. We never the goddamn. I mean, we're always the defender. We're never the goddamn plaintiff. We're never the.
So, Ramil, you have all the answers. How do we fix
I don't have all the answers. I'm just.
Oh, yes, you do.
Oh no.
Yeah, answers. Hence the reason why you're arguing this point. What are the answers? How do we fix it?
Like I said, man. First of all,
I got my own ideology of how we can fix it.
Black men need to be more competitive. That's what.
We need it's that black men need to be. There are competitive black men out here.
More.
I'm not. There you go. Now, hence is the point of the argument. Again, it's not that we don't have any black men that are out here being competitive. We need more. Hence is what I've been telling you. You have been arguing the wrong point all night. You've been saying that we don't have any black men that are competitive.
You're talking about going out to compete. I'm talking about what power do we have? Okay, that's two different things.
Let me ask you a question. Do we have black people in this country with power or not?
Well, individual power within their own lives, yes. Everybody.
So that plays into the greater collective because you're part of the group. So hence would dismiss your argument of zero. Whether we have one out of every 1 million, or whether we got 999,000 out of 1 million, we still have some power in this country.
Look, man, I told
your ideology is that zero and one are the same.
No, I'm arguing that being at the bottom is you equate that with having no power because everybody else is above you.
So hold on a second, brothers. Hold on a second. Another $1.99 super chat from brother Edward. Good look, brother Edward, on that. He says, "Do not ask for something you cannot take." Super chats, brothers. We got another super chat from brother Roscoe, $5. Good look, brother Roscoe. He says, "Begging and participating are two different things. For the general, then why do you praise MLK, who begged for integration on behalf of blacks?"
He didn't beg. What MLK did was he organized a organization, and he made a march on the Capitol. He did what was called a show of force. For those of you who don't understand what fucking have the common enough sense to fucking figure that out, this is why these conversations sometimes are pointless when you talk to motherfuckers who really don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The man had an organization, and they made a march on the Capitol as a show of force in order to get people to come to the bargaining table. Go back and rediscover history. Shit.
Well, we got another $2 super chat. Good look on that, brother D Della. He says, the general, where do you want the big ass L delivered? You wrong for that one, D. Dilla.
Hey, tell him he can send it. I don't have an issue with it. First question I would have is how long he's been on the face of the planet. Second question I would have is how much experience in life and living life does he have? Second question I would have, the third question I would have for him is how much history does he actually know? Because if he knew anything, skip all of that. Ask him, is one greater than zero since he's so smart? Is one more than zero since he's so fucking smart?
All right, we got another $5 super chat from Super Mike. Good look, brother Super Mike. He says, what makes you think that saying there is no hope motivates people, Ramil?
I'm not saying there's no hope. I'm saying there's plenty of hope. You got the internet here. You have all the information you need. You have all the tools you need to stay in society, to do whatever you want to do. You should be trying to change the situation. I'm not saying there's no hope. I think there's more hope than ever, especially with the opioid crisis and things that are slowing white people down. You know, I think black men should be taking advantage of this and trying to position ourselves into powerful slots that are going to be opening up in this economy. The tech field's wide open. If I wasn't in real estate, if I wasn't making money doing what I was doing, that's where I would be going right now. I would be trying to get into the coding industry or something. But, you know, if I didn't have this going on. So it's plenty of opportunities right now. There's plenty of hope. Just black men have to stop being complacent. We got to stop being complacent with just, you know, staying as employees, even though owning a business is not for everybody. We do need more black men getting out here, taking the risk and creating things for the next group of black people. And there's plenty of hope out here, man. There's plenty of hope.
So you and I agree with that. I said early on during the course of the day that we need more of it. It's not that we don't have any of it. We don't have.
As far as power and men in competition, those are not the same thing. I'm talking about power.
You have power in the real estate market because you are one black man that's in the real estate
Individual power, yes.
Right, you have individual power. So if you got a collective group of black real estate loan officers or real estate owners coming together, then you have a collective group, right? So if you start working with all of the other black real estate officers there in your city, guess what you have? You've just created collective power instead of individual power. The argument is not that how much power we have. You're arguing that we have zero. In the real estate market, if we didn't have any black realtors in that market, then you could say zero power in the real estate market because we're not represented there. Now, my argument is simply this. The mere fact that we have one person in that market means that we do have that one voice of power. That's all I'm telling you, brother.
Hey, T.P.O.T, can I say something right fast?
No, absolutely. Hold on. Let me go ahead and read this. Let me go ahead and read this super chat right quick, KIT, then you can jump in. Another $2 super chat from Brother Roscoe. Good look, Brother Roscoe. He says the March on Washington was not MLK's idea. Read a book. It's not really a question, but go ahead, Brother KIT.
It's a statement. Go ahead, Brother KIT.
Go ahead, Brother KIT.
No, I was just gonna say it seemed like y'all just getting caught up on the whole power aspect. I mean, I look at the way Ramil is saying it, the general, as almost like motivation to a lot of these people that's listening. I don't take it as we don't have no power at all, because there's plenty of people out here doing stuff like he's stated in, you know, throughout the whole debate. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of take his words that way. I'm not sure if any of these younger guys are taking it that way, but that's the way they should be taking it, almost as motivation, because we do have some power. It's just not at the level where we should be. And so that's all I wanted to add to it. It seemed like y'all getting caught up at the whole, I mean, if we have power or if we don't have power side of the argument. I mean, it's relative at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the way you look at it, because I also look the way Ramil's saying it as for instance, I look at my savings as that I don't have. I don't even see it or whatever. And I it's kind of extreme, you know, the way I look at it, but I look at that money as it's not there at all, period. And unless something, obviously comes up and I have to dip into it. But yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So you just said the same thing I've been saying the whole night. He's arguing zero power, and I'm arguing that we will have some power, which is what you just said.
Yeah, and that's why I see y'all getting caught up there.
All right, the power to do what? The power to do what? What power? The power to do what?
Well, I'm saying, I mean, you can't just flat out say we got zero power.
What
I understand we at the bottom, Ramil. I get. I mean, we just have to start working together. We just have to
we have the power to do in this country.
Okay, so you as a former military person, you know that there's strength in numbers, right? So the first thing we need to do is we need to unify so that we can develop some power in this country.
So exactly. There we go. So we haven't even started yet.
So you're not listening. You're not listening before you get ahead of yourself. So we can develop more power than what we already have. It's not that we have any. I just laid it out to you. I don't understand what you're not comprehending.
Yeah, we have power.
I just told you. Listen, you have the power there in your country. You have the power there in your city as a realtor. However, if you're only one black realtor in your city. If there are 7 other white real estate offices there with white realtors, and guess what? You're up against it. But if you come together with the other 7 black realtors that are in your city, guess what you do? You level the playing field.
That's assuming I do all of that.
Now.
That's like with black. That's assuming black people link up like that. But until that happens,
right? So
there's no power.
Okay,
so I agree, but
you're talking about power. You're talking about power collectively versus power individually.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Collective power.
Keep changing.
That's the debate's about. It's not about whether I have power or you. It's about the collective.
The debate is whether or not we have power or not whether or not we don't have some.
No. Do we have power? And I said no because you're at the bottom.
Power? I'm telling you, we do have some. You want to equate?
No, you're talking. No, you're equating. You're equating living every day. You're equating being able to go out to eat. That's not power. I'm talking about control. We don't control.
That's not where I'm equating that. That's not. I'm equating it to individual versus collectively. That's why I'm equating it. You're equating it to being at the bottom is the same thing as having zero.
It is.
That's where you're equating to, and it doesn't work that way.
It does. If you told you that. No,
brother, what's your name? Would you make the statement that you made to him a minute ago? Tell him again what you just said. Maybe somebody else can explain it to him differently.
I heard what he said, man. I just said, man. This is the problem with black people. This is the problem with black people.
No, this is the problem with some black people who want to push doom and gloom, and I'm not going to sit here and allow you. I'm not going to sit here and allow you to push doom and gloom.
Control.
You can't come.
Power is control. We don't control anything.
Power is control.
We don't control anything.
Collectively, but individually, we do.
Okay, we're talking about collective. The debate is collective.
No. We're talking about simple power.
No. We're talking about simple power. Do black people have power? Yes or no?
We're not gonna add to shit.
Do black people have power? Yes or no? Simple power. What do you mean simple power?
Are you black? Are you black? Do you have power?
As a collective, black people do not have power.
No, that was not in the title of the show.
Yes,
the title of the show simply says, "Do black people or do we not have power?"
Exactly. Yes, we mean the collective.
He didn't say collectively.
What does we mean? What does we mean?
Do we have power? We can mean
that is the collective. It can mean. It's talking about black people, man.
It can mean collectively, but if you talk,
so who is we talking about?
If I individualize it down to me, right?
Bro. But we is not an individualized word. It literally means everyone. Yes, as a collective.
It means more than one. So are you talking about now? Here's one.
That's what the debate is.
Are you talking about those beneath the poverty line, or are you talking about those above the poverty line?
As a collective, all together now.
Are you talking about? Okay, so now you're going to talk about all together.
That's what the debate is. That's what we. That's a we for you, real quick, dog. Because you keep talking about individual, you keep talking about below above the poverty line, dude.
I simply told you that there are levels to this thing early on. I don't understand why you don't get it, man.
Okay, so the definition of we means I and the rest of the group that includes me. So okay, so that means all black people. That's the group we're talking about, right?
Okay. So does our military have power?
What's that got to do with black people having power?
I'm asking you a simple fucking question. Just stop goddamn dodging and answer the question.
I'm not dodging, man. I'm just trying to teach you the definition of words.
Does our military have power? You don't have to teach me the definition. Does the United States military have power?
Yes, the military has power.
Are there any black people in the United States military?
Yes, there are.
So that would mean that they would have power because they're part of an organization.
No, they are military. What's the job of the military? To take orders, right?
No, to defend the country. To defend
by taking orders, by taking all lawful orders.
No, you follow orders. You don't take anything. Here it is again.
What's the difference?
Play on words.
It's not playing words, dude. This is
play on words.
This is Merriam textbook.
Orders. You follow orders. You follow.
That's different from taking orders.
No, follow.
You have to take them first to follow them, right?
Following. You don't take orders to the letter. You understand? They give you have a leeway in there to decipher what an order is. You know that there's a such thing as an illegal order, correct? So
yeah, when it's against the law.
I may take the order that you give, but it's illegal. That means it's against the law. That means that I'm not at liberty to follow it.
Okay, but for the most part,
look, man.
Okay, most orders you get are lawful.
I've been doing this shit for 25 years. Not all are lawful.
Most.
Not all are lawful.
I didn't say. I said most.
The vast majority would be legal. Yes.
I know.
But I want to go back to the simple question to the fact of the matter, what I said a few minutes ago. Does the United States military have power?
It has forms of power, yes.
Does the United States military have power? Yes.
As an organization, yes, it has power, yes.
Okay. Are there any black people in that organization? Yes or no?
Yes, there's black people in that organization.
So that would mean that there are some black people within that organization who have power, correct?
See,
hold on, I got you.
Can I answer the question? On the individual level, on the individual level, those black people have power over their units. Can I answer the question?
The military.
Can I answer the question?
I want to fix you.
I was in the military. Come on.
The military is still in it. The military doesn't operate as individuals; they operate as a team.
I'm talking about those black people. Black people who are in leadership positions of their unit. They have power over that unit. But once again, you individualizing the argument. We're talking about black people as a collective.
No, you have power within the organization because the unit is a part of the organization. It's a part of the whole.
Yeah. But we are talking about black. That's like saying the black manager at Target has power. The military is not black people's.
The manager of
Target is not black people's. The military is not a black organization.
Hold on a second. We got a super chat question from Brother Moses, $50. Good look on that super chat, Brother Moses. He says, Ramil, power is the ability to control others. Also, Ramil, I don't want 2% of someone else's $100. I want 100% of my own. I thought you wanted to control them, though, by your logic. Self-control is not power. Check and mate. I'm going on mute.
First of all,
Brother Moses, you're wrong.
So I see Brother Moses. So first of all, I already said I want 100% of my own. And second of all, I see Brother Moses is still mad at that debate that I had to smash him on this very channel. It's okay, brother. Thanks for the super chat, man. You didn't checkmate anything, but I always rematch you if you want to.
Smashing. I don't think you're doing too much smashing. I think you need you need to go back to the drawing board a little bit, guy. You need to go back just a little bit.
You need to go back.
It's a nice. You
need to go back to the bunker and draw up a new plan, man.
You need to rejoin the military. Maybe you learn something.
I'm done with that shit, dog. That shit.
I know you should be. You need to go back and try it again. Maybe you learn something.
I'm good.
You made a few.
I learned enough.
Statements that were faulty. No, you didn't learn. Obviously, you didn't learn too much.
I did,
Obviously,
man.
you didn't learn too much. No, I don't think so. But that's
I
not
did,
faith.
man.
Anytime a motherfucker sit here and tell me that 0 is just the same as 1,
Well,
I
that
know
comes
better.
from the military. 2 is 1, 1 is
I
none.
know better.
That
All
comes
right.
from the Marines. Okay.
Hey, keep it techie. Are you here?
I never heard that one, man.
Keep it techie.
Just
Are you here?
Google it right now.
Keep
I
Just
mean,
it
Google
techie.
it.
I believe.
Keep
What's
it
up?
techie. Keep it techie. I'm gonna ask you a question. All
What's
right.
up?
Okay. You walk into a store. You look through the door before you go in. There are 0 black people in that store. 0. Right? None. But the moment you walk in there, how many is in there?
One.
Okay. 1. Now you may be the smallest group that's in there or the smallest number of person that's in there, but you still got 1 in there. You still got a voice in there. When everybody else is talking and buying shit, you can go in there and use your purchasing power to buy things. So that means that you have the same amount of power as everyone else has, correct?
Yes and
No,
yes. If
not
we
how
talking,
much. Not how much. See, don't. This is what he's doing.
okay,
He's
all right.
construing it. Not how much, because obviously there are going to be people in there with more money than you have. The fact of the matter is, you do have some purchasing power. You didn't go in there with $0 in your pocket. You
Yeah,
went in
but
there with $50 in your pocket, and there may be people in there with $5,000 in their pocket, which will obviously give them more spending power. Here's a check and make, which will obviously give them spending power than what you have. The fact of the matter is that you can still go in there and buy some items out of that store. Correct?
yep, I get it.
Which gives you some spending power. Correct?
No, I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day,
Check and make.
but at the end of the day, we don't come together as a collective like other groups in order to
That's
have a
what we
big.
agree
I mean,
on.
and that's
I agree
that's
with
where we agree. Y'all agree that, you know.
No, I can't disagree with that because we don't act as a unit here. We don't act as one complete solid unit over the 50 continental United States here. That's one of the biggest problems that we face. We don't gather collectively to do anything. Period. So that's not the contentions of disagreement that I have with him. Check and make. The contention of disagreement that I have with him is him saying that we have 0 power here. We have voices there. How many voices, or how much is it relevant to the percentage of Black Americans in this country? Yeah. The fact is not that how much. The fact is that we do have some. And I know that people out there in the audience can understand what I'm saying. I know they can understand that. When you use a play on, which is two totally different things, than when you're actually talking about what it means. Words have meaning here. And to say that we absolutely have 0 power, no, I ain't buying that shit.
Well, General, we got another question for you from Brother D. Della again. Good look on that $2 super chat, Brother D. Della. Yeah. He says, General, how many times did you fail the ASFAB?
Not as many as were real with that math that he was using. 0 is just the same as 1. Can he answer that question? Ask him. I'll ask him. Hey, Brother D. Dilla, is 0 the same as 1? Or do you follow that line of logic as well?
Once again, man, like I said, do you understand what that means? Of course,
0 is equal to 1.
No, I never said 0 equal to 1. I said 2.
You said
I'm talking about when it comes to power. If you have 1 and everybody else has 2 and above, then you have no power because other people are ahead of you. All right, that's where I'm at with it. That came from the military. That came from the military. The reason why the Marines say 2 is 1 is 1 is none, because if you down to your last grenade, you basically have none, because once you throw it away, you had 0. You got 1 hole, you got no hole. Let me bring it up for the pimp game. If you got 1 hole, you got no holes, because if that hole ends up leaving you, you had 0.
Would you
2
rather
is
have
1,
that
1
last
is
grenade, or
none.
would you rather have that last grenade in hand, or would you rather have zero
Depends
grenades?
on the situation, but either way,
Ain't
once
no
you down,
ain't no
once you're
depend on
down
no
to your
fucking
last,
situation.
if I just kill somebody
I
with
just
it, then
asked.
that's
I
cool.
understand that ideology, but I'm asking you a
No,
question.
you don't, because you're
Would
acting
you-
like, what is that? What is that? Obviously, you're confusing. So let me make it simple for you.
No, I'm not confused. I'm gonna make it simple for you. You're down to your last dollar. You spend it. Now I know you have $0 left. That's understandable. By that ideology, that's understandable. But to say that you have none when you have one in your pocket is a misnomer.
I'm using that ideology for power. When that's
But you gotta stop.
definitely
You can't use.
is what you should use it for as
that
power.
ideology for power.
You should, yes, you should, yes.
You cannot use that ideology
Yes.
for.
Well, yes, you can. It should be, yes.
Until all black people are voted out of Congress and the Senate.
They're
and out of the
not. They
House
don't
of
have black
Representatives.
agendas, so they don't count.
And then they do have black agendas. I just
No,
told
they
you what
don't.
they have black. Yeah,
No,
yes,
you did.
we are
I
best
asked you.
every-
I asked you. You didn't. You said you had to find it. So you have you found it yet?
We're not vested. We're not as heavily vested as others are, but we do have.
Okay,
black
so once
legislators
again, what
that
are they
pushing
doing? What
agendas.
are they passing for black people? That educate me.
They passing for black people.
Yes,
they
please educate me.
They keep trying to get your dumb ass for you to keep the right to fucking vote without having to go through all these goddamn changes.
What are you talking about? Are you serious
Now
right
with
now?
what I'm talking about.
I asked you,
Yeah,
what
I'm
are they
very
doing for black
serious.
people?
The right to vote, which gives you a fucking
So the
chance to have a
Congressional Black
fucking say so in
Caucus
this.
made it possible for black people to vote. That's what you're saying? Because of the Black Caucus, we can vote?
No, I didn't say. That's not what I said. You didn't listen.
I'm listening. Yes, I did.
I said the agendas that our black legislators are pushing. That's one thing. Voter registration, voter reform. That's one of the things that they keep trying to push for, so you don't lose it.
Okay, so
you asked me. I told you.
So black. So let me get this straight. What you're saying is that black lobbyists are pushing for the legislatures for the blacks the right to vote, so that we don't lose the right to vote.
I didn't say the right to vote. I said that they're trying to keep you from losing your right to vote. That's why they keep talking about voter reform and voter registration. Because other people, if they had it their way, they would take the right away. That's why
losing your right to vote.
That's why they keep trying to introduce all these new ways that you have to register to vote. Without legislators there to keep the reform going, you wouldn't have it. They keep putting obstacles in front of you.
Obstacles, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
Are there any more questions for the debaters? If there is, shoot them up now, because if not, I'm going to go ahead and let the brothers go, because I know they got shit to do.
Yeah.
Very, very spirited debate, though, man. Very, very good stuff, man. Good stuff from both of you brothers.
I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff from both of you brothers.
I appreciate it, man. You just you can't apply that ideology to everything.
Well, better safe than sorry.
Good shit tonight, brothers. Very, very, very good shit tonight, man. Very good stuff. Very, very good stuff.
So, do you still take? No. We ain't gotta do that.
Go ahead, man. I'm listening.
No.
I'm here to the end. What you got? What you got for me?
No, everything good, man. I was just, another one in the books.
What you got for me?
I was saying another one in the books. Another one in the books.
Nah, not at all.
He said another one in the books.
Another one in the books.
Not at all.
Damn, what's that? 5-0?
You tried it. But you took an L on this one, Chief.
I'm about to go MJ in this bitch.
You took an L on this one, Chief.
Yeah,
I think you took an L. You took a couple other L's that I noted.
Nah, man.
I think my boy went.
This is something that I've been doing the last few times, but people have been writing me and they've been saying, "Oh, you should do polls more often." So, but I got to get both of y'all to agree. If y'all want to do a poll, we can do a poll in the chat. It's up to y'all. If y'all don't, that's cool too. but it's
Yeah, man, go
something
ahead,
new.
run the poll.
Yeah, do the poem, man. Yeah, man. That's a big part of the whole thing.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right, we're gonna take a poll in the audience, folks. Put a R in the chat if you think Brother Ramil won. Put a G in the chat if you think the General won. That's a R in the chat for Ramil, a G in the chat for the General. Let's go. Come on, get those letters in there. Do it with your pinky. You don't even got to take a lot of effort. R, G, R, 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 G, R, 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 T. What the hell is that, Astro? G, R.
Yeah, man.
I
Like I
think
said,
that's
man,
what
it's always
no.
logic trumps everything.
It's
Logic,
looking,
man. You gotta.
it's
Yeah,
looking
it's
like,
looking good for you, Ramil.
it's looking like Brother Ramil. It's looking like Brother Ramil.
All
I
right,
mean,
I don't
yes,
have a problem with that, man. Spirit of debate, I
Spoken.
enjoyed it.
yeah, I enjoyed it too, man. But you know,
I rather enjoyed it, brother. But I would tell you that some of your logic is flawed, man. And if you have that outlook, things are not going to get better at all.
I mean, I
I'm
had
just
the
saying.
outlook to compete, man. Like I just, here's the thing, man. I hold black people to high standards because I hold myself to high standards. That's the problem. I find that I hold black people to too high of standards. That's when I get the pushback. I mean, but you know, I'm gonna keep doing it because I expect the best out of us. I expect the
And
best out of myself.
okay, so I agree with that. But at the end of the day, man, I would tell you this. I would tell you that some of your ideology was a little bit out, far out, especially with the two is one is zero is greater than or
Well, like
equal to one. That's crazy as
that's the
hell.
Marine
And
ideology, man. It's called playing it
okay, I
safe,
get it.
man.
I get it. I get it. I get it. And that's because you were taught to, depend upon all you as a resource. I get it. I do. I understand that 100%. But you can't apply that to everything else. It
All right,
doesn't apply.
man. Well,
And for those who follow that logic, it says a lot about us as a community.
no, actually, I think I think it's better because I mean, no offense, but if your ideology is I think my ideology. Let's try something different, man. We've tried the same ideology for the past few years. I think something else needs to be tried. I think a new
I don't
direction.
disagree. Again, that's not the point of contention, whether or not we should try something different. The point of contention is when you say that we have zero power. And if you look across the board, to say that we have zero power means that we're not representative.
We ain't got to go over that again.
I know we don't. I'm just telling you. I'm just ending this conversation so that we can move on. To say that we're zero power, which means that we have zero representation. Now we don't have as much as what we should have, or as much as what we need. There, I will agree with you. Once again, I will pass that point of contention to you to agree. I will concede that point because that's a fact. But to say we have absolute zero power, that's a fallacy. How much is relevant, but zero, no.
All right.
Yeah, remember I
So
had
once
to
again,
look that up, man. That two is one.
You saw it, right?
Yeah. I've seen it. I mean,
It's come from the military, right?
yeah, it's Marine Corps.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
yeah,
Like,
and that's
But I would apply to what we're going through right now in this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? As far as toilet paper, food, two is one.
so why is that only? But that should be applied to the intangible.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well. No, I'm saying that should be also be applied to the intangible. Yeah, go ahead.
I can agree with that ideology. My thing is, right now in this pandemic, would you rather have zero toilet paper, or would you rather have one?
Look, man.
I'll wait.
we're going in circles,
I
man.
got it's no circles. It's simple. It's fucking simple. Would you rather have 0 rolls of toilet paper right now? Or would you rather have one? It's
Nah,
really
but what it's
goddamn.
saying
It's
is,
that goddamn simple.
yeah, but what it's saying is be more
I
prepared.
understand what he's
That's
saying.
what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
Yeah,
dog.
I mean,
I
it's just
don't disagree with that. Would you rather have 5 black senators in the House of Senate, or would you rather have common sense would say 50? Like, come on, man. But to say that we have 0 is another thing.
Look,
That's something totally different.
if we didn't have 0, our position in society would be a lot different.
and I agree, General.
It's in the results. It's
You
in the
can't
results.
across the board. That's just my take on it. I don't think you can apply that across the board.
You can't.
The thing you just said about politicians versus whatever number you threw out there, you know, some representation is better than none. So I think that's where we keep getting caught up, you know, on if we have power or not, if that's considered power or not, because that's basically what y'all arguing. If like one politician is in there versus Ramil looks at that as 0 politicians in there, and you look at it as we do have some with that with that one politician there. So I get what you're saying. Both of y'all are saying.
All right, been saying it all night. You got to have a building block. If you don't have a building block, then, and I'm not standing against his ideology. I get exactly what he's saying. 2 is better than 1. Yeah, I get that, but I damn well know it's better than none. So you can look at that from across the spectrum.
Well, we got a $4.99 super chat from Brother Darth Patzer. Good look on that, Brother Darth. He says, "The General, I'm close to your age, bro. We got to pass the torch to the next generation. The young brothers got this. Much respect."
Hey, I feel him, but this ain't Jesus take the wheel time either. You can't just let these young motherfuckers have it and run rampant with it, because they'll run it in the ground, and then we'll be sitting up saying
It's already in the ground. We're trying to dig this motherfucker out the ground.
So yeah, but it can get worse. So what we have to do is we have to be there. Old men are for counsel, young men are for war. In other words, we should be here to give them a voice of reason and a sense of direction and guidance. Okay?
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
If they don't want
have
it,
to agree
if
with
they
that.
don't want it, then that's fine.
No,
I can tell you all day.
Yeah.
No. But I'm talking to the brother that made his super chat. Yeah, we're gonna pass the torch. I can't help but to pass the torch. I'm at the midway point. I gotta give it up. I gotta give it to him. But I ain't gonna.
Oh shit, we lost the General. I'd have to say I agree, you know, with the General on that. I believe that, you know, the older folks need to get out the way and let the young folks kind of take it on, like the General said. You know, I think us older dudes, you know, we need to be sitting at a table somewhere, and if the younger folks want to come to us for counsel, give it. Don't force it. You know, if they come to us and say, you know, old wise ones, we need your counsel, and we give them counsel and they get out on the front line. I think that's a problem in Black society, because the quote unquote leaders are these old guys who are in their 60s and 70s and shit like that. These are the people who are out front claiming to be leaders. These people need to be sitting at a table as a tribunal, giving advice, giving wisdom, sharing tactics. I don't think they should be the ones in the front line, you know, kind of representing Black ideas, so to speak. I mean, I know I'm an older fella, and I'm willing to let the young brothers take the reign, because I don't think I represent the future. We often talk about Black society's future. I don't represent the future. I represent the past. I don't represent the future. You know, us Gen Xers and boomers, we don't We don't represent the future, man. We represent the goddamn past. Millennials and the Z's and all of them. They represent the future. Our children, our grandchildren represent the future, man. We don't. You know, we represent the past. A lot of us are, you know, we're dinosaurs in a sense, especially when you're talking about being frontline fighters. I mean, I know that's what I think. And I say again, I mean, if the younger folks come to you and, you know, they got questions, they need advice, they need direction on a skill set or something like that, you give it. I don't even think that should be forced on them. I think that if they solicit, okay, if they solicit instruction, if they solicit guidance, if they solicit counsel, then you give it. Other than that, the older brother, the hell out the way. That's where I'm at on that. But, you know, that's just me. But it looks like the general has I don't know, maybe his phone went dead or something like that. Looked like something like that happened. So if there's no more questions, good folks, I'm going to bring this to a close. Good shit tonight, General, Brother Ramil, my man KIT. Come in, I appreciate you, brother. I do.
Follow, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. Good shit, Brother Ramil. The folks say you, the folks said you won, man. So there it is.
Yeah,
I let the folks decide,
man.
and they
You
decide.
should let the
So,
every debate, man. Let the folks decide. That's part of it, man. You gotta let the ending people know, let the audience get their opinion on who won, man.
yeah, well, that's what I've been doing the last few debates. I used to did not. I wasn't doing that before, but you know, here lately, everybody's been like, "Oh, X, take a poll." So I think that I'm going to go ahead and integrate that into it. Folks think we still got what, like 145 people in here. What y'all folks think, man? Y'all think we should do a poll at the end of every debate every week, or what? What y'all think? Okay. Yep. They said let the folks vote. Got one person, Brother Roscoe. I knew he was gonna say yeah. What y'all think? Yes.
Hey, shout out to Cooling. Yeah, man. I'm gonna need a prophet of thought belt. You know what I mean? Like
Yes. Maybe I'll send you a T.P.O.T shirt. You know what I'm
oh
saying?
shit.
Because you know I got those T.P.O.T shirts, you know, for sale at the
Okay.
old Teespring store. You know, y'all get on down there to my Teespring store and buy an overpriced damn T-shirt or overpriced hoodie and shit. You know, I got the T.P.O.T shirt. I got the T-shirts. I got the These Old Mama T-shirts, of course, and I have the Open Your Mind hoodie. You know, it says "Open Your Mind" little in the front and says "Open Your Mind" big in the back. So if you want to buy some overpriced shit, get on down to the T.P.O.T Media Store. The link is underneath this video. Get on down there, and if one of my moderators would be so kind to put the link to the Teespring store in the chat, if you would, please. I would do it, but I got shit in my hand right now, so I can't do it. But go ahead and put the link to the T.P.O.T Media store up there, just in case somebody want to go and buy an overpriced T-shirt. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to send you one, man. I'm going to send you. I think that's what I'm gonna be doing, man. I mean, you know, because brothers come on quite frequently. You know, we have a good pool of brothers who come through, man. So, you know, I might, you know, go ahead and start doing that, you know, start sending out some awards, you know, that kind of type thing. You know what I'm saying? Being that that's what we're doing.
I mean, that'd be dope.
Yeah. You know, so we're gonna go ahead. I think we're gonna go ahead and start doing a poll at the end of every debate, because it seems like that's what the folks like and the brothers like it too. So that's where we're going. Go ahead and integrate that into it. All right. Also, hold up, let me turn my damn camera on. Also, folks, I've been getting a lot of emails people have been asking me because I see Brother Moses right in the chat about the ladies debating. I have been getting a lot of requests for a girl on girl debate. I've tried to make that happen in the past to no avail. So I noticed that we had quite a few ladies in the chat. If any of you ladies want to debate, you can write me, hit me up in my email. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had some debate requests, for certain ladies. And to be honest, the request that I got, I did not want them chicks on my shit. Those chicks are not coming on here. And I know a couple of y'all out there, y'all know what y'all sent me. And the chicks that y'all sent me, they ain't coming up here. They're not. No. But yeah, if some ladies out there, if y'all want to debate, or y'all know some ladies out there that want to debate, go ahead, hit me up. My email's on the YouTube page. If you don't feel like looking on the YouTube, you can hit me on my email. Here it is. Put that on the screen for y'all. Yeah, go ahead and hit me up, and tell me who you want to debate, against. If you got a request for a debate, because that's how we do this. We do this by request. We have a debate pool, and it doesn't just go for the ladies. It also goes for brothers. If you want to debate, hit me up on my email. If you got a debate that you want to request, hit me up in my email. I will put it in the pool. Because I don't choose the debaters. You do. Y'all choose the debaters. Y'all choose the topics too. I don't. I just host them. I let the folks do it. I mean, this is a y'all debates, these are y'all debates. Y'all pick the folks, y'all pick the topics, and now y'all gonna be voting at the end of them. So, this is y'all show. So if y'all want to see something, or y'all want to get up here and debate yourself, just hit me up at properthought@yahoo.com, and I will put it in the pool, and we'll see what happens. All right. Once again, I want to say thanks to Brother Ramil Amyr. Always ready to debate. Always. Always. Brother Ramil is the only person that I've hit up for a debate that he's never said no. Everybody else has told me no at least once. Brother Ramil, Brother Ramil and Brother Fantastic. Brother Ramil and Brother Fantastic. They've never told me no, but I've heard no from a lot of other people. But yeah, Brother Ramil always comes through, man. Whenever he's requested, I appreciate it, man. I do, Brother Ramil. I got a lot of respect for you, young fella.
Oh, no problem. Likewise, that's I got hella respect for you and the platform, and appreciate it as always.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. Good shit tonight, man. Brother KIT, man, I got a lot of respect for you too, brother. I appreciate you coming through, man. Doing the clock thing for a brother, man. It's always appreciated, my brother.
Yeah, no problem, man. Shout out Ramil, man.
It's fantastic. Yeah, shout out Keep It Techie, yep.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate both of you brothers. But
general, that was a good debate.
Yeah. I appreciate the general too, even though he done dropped off and ain't trying to come back home. But General, good shit tonight, brother. If you listening, good shit tonight from you as well. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Some programming notes. Tomorrow, to invite any brother who wants to come on tomorrow, because we got this list thing going on by Mr. Fountain. Now, full disclosure, I had got quite a few emails, right? And people were asking me, they said, X, you need to get in contact with Mr. Fountain, to see if he wants to debate. I was reluctant at first, but about 4 or 5 people had wrote me and asked me about it. So I said, okay, I will reach out to the brother. So I did reach out to him. At first, I didn't get any response. And then he wrote me back. And first, he kind of pointed me to a reply that Brother Supreme had wrote to one of his articles, and then he wrote me and he said, well, you know, I know who told you to write me, and he was wrong, because the person that he said must have asked me wasn't the person who asked me, so he was wrong on that. He said that he had wrote in his response why he would not come, his response to Brother Supreme, why he would not come on any of our platforms. So when he wrote that, I wrote him something back short and sweet. I said, look, I said, brothers came to me because they know I host a debate channel and they wanted me to reach out to you. I can respect the fact that you don't want to come on. You know, I can respect that. They asked me to come. They asked me to reach out to you, and I did. Peace, pretty much. So the brothers that wrote me about Brother Fountain, he's not going to come on. He's going to sit back and he's just going to make lists and talk shit about YouTubers that you know. That's what he's going to do. But that being said, he's got this list out now. And a couple brothers have been talking about it. And the only reason why I'm talking about it is because my platform was on the fucking list too. So, any brothers who want to come and discuss it tomorrow night, we're going to be doing a DXL, Dark Exodus Live. And, you know, we're going to talk about this dude, man. I mean, he obviously wants attention. We've seen that before. Brother Ramil as well.
Yeah.
He wants attention. He wants attention. We're going to give it to him. All right, we're going to give it to him. So tomorrow, any brothers out there that's listening, if you want to stop by tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on DXL, we're going to be talking about this Aaron Fountain guy. All right, and we're gonna do some digging on him, you know, because I've been doing some research on him too. So come through tomorrow if you want to, and that's anybody that's on that list, because there's quite a few of us. Like all the folks you know are on that list. All the folks you know, anybody you can think of is on that list. Anybody that you aligned with is on that list.
What is the list for?
That
like,
what
what is it for? I don't understand. Like, what was the purpose of it? Like, what's the list?
Well, basically, the list is, I guess, he's got it compiled, like, you know, the female haters club, if you will, and it goes right from A to Z too. You know, he got it all in alphabetical order. I can't believe a so-called PhD a candidate has so much time to sit back and compile an alphabetical
he got a lot of time
list
in hand to be
of all. Absolutely, you know, to come up with an alphabetical list
you got work
of
to do?
all
Like,
the
what the fuck?
yeah, of all the YouTubers who he think is you know, these manosphere maniacs or whatever he's trying
No
to
wonder
call
why
us.
it's taking you 6 years to get this. You focus on us, so you need to be focused on that schoolwork, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, he got a lot of time on this because the list is kind of long. I mean, it tells from A to Z. All your favorites are on there.
So he been
You're
watching a
on there,
lot.
of course. Yeah, you're on there. I'm on there. You know, Fantastic, Super Sly, everybody. Black Ram, everybody you can possibly think of is on that list, man, for the most part. All your favorites. You think of your favorite YouTubers, they're on there. Yeah, they're on there. I seen Gab on there. I'm like, Gab? Yes, Gab, of all people. Probably the most measured of us. All right. Right? It's on there. Like, so I say again, anybody who wants to come through and talk about this shit tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, we're gonna be doing something a little special. We're gonna get his brother what he wants. All right, we're gonna give him what he wants, because I believe in giving people what they want. So he obviously wants us to be talking about him. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. All right, that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. So come through if you got time, brothers. It's on brother Moneybag. It's on this site called Daggles and Maggles or something. I mean, that is crazy. Yeah, I think it's called Maggles and Daggles. Yeah, some nonsense like that. You know, PhD candidate. He's got a site called Maggles and Daggles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Make it make sense.
You know, I mean, come on, man. This is crazy, man. Yeah, it's called Maggles, Daggles, or something like that.
And the more we talk about this, the more I realize I'm like, this dude might have dropped out of that program, dog, because this is you're a PhD doing this shit, man.
Yeah,
you dissertation to write and all the other shit.
Yeah,
Martin Luther King was a doctor. Martin Luther King had a PhD. Think of Martin Luther King making a site, called Pookie Mag or Dag or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you know, that sound like some title I would put together. You know, hoes, hood rats, and housewives. You know, some shit like that. You know, hoes, hood rats, and housewives. You know, I mean, come on, man. You know, come on, man. It's like, come on, man. At this one, it's like crazy. And I wasn't even gonna talk about this dude, man. I wasn't gonna talk about this dude at all. Because, like I said, when I reached out to him, I said, look, a few brothers came to me and they wanted me to reach out to you. Now, mind you, when I got the first email, right? When I got the first email and they were like, oh, X, you need to try to get this dude to come on and debate on your channel. I just kind of disregarded it. Then I got 2 or 3 more. I was like, all right, I'll reach out to this dude. So I hit him up on Twitter. And at first he didn't even get back to me. But when he did get back to me, he pointed me to Brother Supreme's, article that Brother Supreme's response, to his article. He pointed me there. He sent me the link there. And I guess that was him explaining why he doesn't want to come on any of the, manosphere platforms, if you will. So I was like, fine. They asked me to reach out to you, brother. I can respect that. You don't want to come on. I'm just asking you because the brothers had asked me to ask you. That I did it. And you said no. There it is. But this list shit is something else. You know what I'm saying? This list shit is some other shit. So we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it tomorrow. That's all. We're gonna talk about it. That's all. That's all it is, And if brothers want to go in on them, it's a free-for-all on them tomorrow, right here on the T.P.O.T. YouTube page, because I'm getting a little aggravated with this brother myself at this point. So
now he's just showing out, man. He's showing out.
Yeah, now he's just acting a fool. Because some of the names I seen up there, I was like, really, man, you got him up there? Really? I was surprised to see my own shit up there.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, you got me up there. You got me up there too.
That's crazy.
He's probably watching some of my shit from a long time ago. He can't be watching no recent shit.
Maybe he was watching Shahraz Ali interview. That's what he was watching.
Yeah. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. What's that, man? You need you want a T.P.O.T shirt? Go to the Teespring store, man. Hit the link and go to the Teespring site, and they come in all kinds of colors. That's my favorite, the T.P.O.T shirt. That's my personal favorite. You know what I mean? So go. What? What you say, brother Iman? You wrong for that one, man. He said you ain't innocent, P.O.T. I'm not saying that I'm innocent, but he's got. Now I don't care what he thinks. It's just that with the brothers that he has up there, because my content isn't similar. Now I'm aligned with a lot of brothers like Ramil and Fantastic and Supreme and all those brothers, but my content isn't exactly like this. Yeah, just like when I saw Gab. Yeah, when I saw Gab up there, I was like, why is Gab on this list? Like, this doesn't even make any sense at this point.
He didn't differentiate between the actual. He just threw everybody on there because definitely is a difference of intensity.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, that's fine that he got me up there. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I am a YouTuber. I'm up here. I'm in the public. When you get up here, you kind of ask for that kind of shit. So I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with it per se. My thing is that it just seems like he's coming after all of the brothers, and he's naming people by name, which he did before. He named people by name when he wrote the first article. He named people by name, and then he went after Ramil, brother Ramil. He went after him,
Yeah,
named him
that
by
poorly
name, and
written
talked.
article.
Yeah, a bunch of misspelled words, and I can't believe this guy's a PhD freaking he's a PhD candidate, man, in basic freaking sixth grade words. He was misspelling, he was misspelling. He need to download goddamn spell check on his damn computer. That's what he need to do, because all them misspelled words he have in his shit, man, it's ridiculous. He need to be get him a ghostwriter or some shit. He needs a ghostwriter or an editor. He needs an editor.
You need to
I mean, they
stop.
better rethink. Yeah, he need to do that too. He needs to do that too. So, it is what it is. And like I said, tomorrow is showtime, and we're gonna have a conversation. We have a conversation about this brother, man. And it's gonna be a free-for-all. So whatever brothers want to come on and say about this fool, feel
Yeah,
free.
I'll try to slide
You
through.
know?
I'll try to slide through.
Yeah,
Too.
yeah, rapid fire tomorrow, man. It's on, you know. Shit, what's really good? Yeah, what's really good, man? But there you have it. But anyway, brother Ramil, once again, man, I appreciate you, man. And
No problem, man.
if you can slide through tomorrow, man, come on by. All right?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me.
All right, my man. Anytime, brother. Peace.
All right, peace out.
Yeah. Good debate tonight, man, between the general and brother Ramil Amyr, man. Very spirited debate. And like I said earlier, we're gonna go ahead and let the folks be deciding these things at the end. Good shit. But we're gonna wrap it up. And y'all know what I want y'all to do now, right? I want you to get your black behinds down to Facebook. The Facebook page is Proper the Thought series on Facebook. That's Proper the Thought, one word, series, the next word. On Facebook, that's our community page. That's our main page. Go ahead, like the page, share the page, follow the page. You can even catch up with old X down there. All you got to do is drop me a line, and I'm guaranteed to get back to you within 24 and 168 hours. Guaranteed. You can always find out what's going on up on the T.P.O.T YouTube page, on that page as well. Now, remember, it's a community page, not a personal page. So go ahead and check out the Proper Thoughts series Facebook page. Also, while you're on Facebook, get on down to the Proper Thoughts series fan group page. That's the Proper Thoughts series fan group page on Facebook. Go ahead, request to be a member. You're guaranteed to get in there quick. I'm actually an admin on my shit. I've been an admin. I've had it for like 4 years. I just became an admin like a month ago on my own shit. So go ahead, request to be a member. You're guaranteed to get in there quick. It's a fan group page, so you ain't just got to listen to old X run his mouth all the time. It's other people down there posting shit and running their old mouths as well. Also, check us out on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's Proper the Thought. Leave out the series on Instagram. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram. You guaranteed to get a follow back. And we always end the night like this. Get your black behinds down to Twitter. The Twitter handle is at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. That's at T.P.O.T Media on Twitter. Go ahead. Follow us on Twitter. Because if you don't, I will come down in mama's basement and haunt you in your dreams. And when I'm done with you, I'm going upstairs. And I'm going to haunt your black ass mama too. So once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, man. I want to Thank these good people right here in this here chat room. My moderators always doing what they got to do, but most thank you for showing up tonight, hanging out with us, spending some time with us, and watching us. Is always appreciated, and it's always good to be up here with you folks. I also want to thank the General and Brother Ramil and my celebrity timekeeper, Brother KIT, Brother Keep It Techie. Get on down there and subscribe to KIT, man. Good shit going on down there. And subscribe to Brother Ramil as well. Good shit going on down there as well. The General don't have a channel. Yeah, he don't have a channel. So I can't tell you to subscribe. Well, I guess you could subscribe to him though, right? Because he's obviously got. I just don't think he makes content. So get on down there and subscribe to him anyway. Maybe that'll coax him and influence him to make some content. So once again, man, I appreciate all y'all, man. Thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate all the super chats and the cash apps. Good shit. And don't forget what I said. If you want to debate, hit me up on my email, and keep in mind that I'm trying to get a girl on girl going down. Maybe we can do that Saturday. Possibly. I'll work on it for y'all. I will, because y'all have been writing me about it. So I will work on it. But tomorrow, have your black behinds here for DXL, because we are going in on Mr. Fountain tomorrow. All right. So with that, I will leave you with 3 words. You know, like I always do. Open your mind, your mind, your mind, your mind. Peace, folks.
And so a community is where you control your voice, control your commerce, you control your education, you control your house. We don't control none of that. We live in a hood. Well, what about the Negroes that said, get out? Oh, well, my cousin, he's a multi-millionaire, almost got $1 billion. 3 PhDs, working on 2 more. Driving down the street in Chicago in his Rolls Royce, enjoying himself, and he hit his sirens and looked to the rear and hit his cop car, flashing lights. He squeezed the steering wheel, man. Heart beats fast. Because he knows rights of a Negro, what they could be. And then when that cop car passed him by, he said, thank God he wasn't after you in the first place. That Negro thing you can't get away from. They wasn't coming after you. With all your failures, with your Rolls Royce, with your PhD, didn't help you. That's the hood. Why do you think you never pick up the paper over and over? See white families, we think there's thousands of black cops in America. Why don't you see white families trying as black cops? Not my loved one, I put the back of the head. Why do you think black cops are there? Make them more spiritual and they're good. No. They got enough sense to know that white folks ain't gonna tolerate it. And I will stop in our neighborhood when we decide we will not tolerate. Now, if we were organized, which is hard to organize people who are just going to run crazy, you don't run crazy. But if we were, with the money we have, and the many people who would come to our aid that don't know what it's like to be a Negro. And we said, look, we saying if we don't get a federal law to deal with police brutality, that any time a cop or anybody carry a gun, have to have a license just like you to drive a car. And if you use it wrongly, you'll lose your license. And if it's upheld, you can never work again as a cop or a store boy or a private detective. Now, how do you get Congress to protect you? Well, you take your economic power and you call on your friends, black, white, young and old, and say, this coming Christmas, if we don't have a federal law to outlaw police brutality by law, we call it for a nationwide boycott of Christmas and it'll start on Thanksgiving with the kingdom. 79% of all retail in America happens between Thanksgiving and Christmas. People stay in business all year, lose money just for Christmas, huh? Well, what happens now? Huh? Thanksgiving Avenue, Toys R Us, Sears and Hoover, Westinghouse. They will get the bill, and all they got to do is make one phone call and say, Harry, Mr. Senator, I want that bill pushed through in 3 days. Okay, it's an economic thing. It's that simple. But we have the power, but the system have wiped us out so bad.
The officer's code for one suspect that's been shot.
Open your mind, your mind, your mind.
Only from the Prophet of Thought series media.
Open your mind.